epilepsy.
Kill the intruder.
As loud as you can.
Listen to this.
I don't care that you're only 13, cause 13 is my lucky number. Statutory, when you give me just a kiss, I know the rest can't wait.
This is a song called 13 is My Lucky Number by underground Los Angeles punk band The Child Molesters of their 1981 EP, We Love the Teen Girls. Yeah, take that in combination with their adoption of Nazism, and I think you'll understand why these guys never took off. Their goal was to be just about as provocative as possible, and 45 years since their debut, you can see that didn't get them very far. Despite being such a standout act, their music has fallen into deep obscurity in the age of the internet. Nobody knows about the child molesters. Which is why I'm mentioning them in this video, because they aren't the only child molesters that nobody knows about. I'm sorry, I swear to God I said this exact same thing already before.
Okay, let's try this again.
The pediverse is an online community consisting of thousands of pedophiles and the children they prey on. You probably haven't heard of it though, and that's because of how well they've been able to shut down anyone who tries to tell you about it. Speaking from experience, because that's what happened to me. The first version of this video was taken down after being mass reported by pedi users. YouTube has refused to reinstate it, but they've agreed to let me re-upload it as long as I do crazy censorship. So with that being said, let me tell you about the pediverse. Pedi is an offshoot of something called the fediverse, which is a collection of different social media sites called instances that can interact with each other. Anyone can create and host their own instance with its own rules for any reason, and the pediverse is a specific collection of instances made by and for pedophiles to groom children. They use cushy language and advertise themselves as a quote-unquote safe space to siphon vulnerable kids from online fandoms into their sites where they'll be groomed, abused, and exploited. Sites like this, oh yeah, sorry, I can't mention the names of them apparently. All of these sites are a part of the pediverse, and they're all used not only to entice and groom children at a level unlike anything I have ever seen, but also to establish a pseudo-civil rights movement around pedophilia to justify it.
Crazy random violence, that's all I wanna see.
The best way I can describe this video is opening fire on a crowd of pedophiles. It is a 3-hour compendium of my 6+ months of wannabe journalistic work on pedi, split up and organized by case. It covers the victims of pedi, their predators, the involvement of the FBI, and the pipeline by which a pedophile acolyte becomes a full-on, wholesale child molester. Which is a bunch of $10 worded new age bullshit to say that it's a really good video, that I'm very proud of, and it probably won't make any money. Which is why I really appreciate all the people that pay for channel memberships or just support me financially in any way. If you want to be a channel member, get your name on this list. It is $2 a month. Seriously, like, I really appreciate all of you more than words can illustrate. So, thank you. Paycheck Gang 2K25, I'll stop yapping.
Stranger, you're in danger when you're making eyes that way. Stranger, you're in danger, I'll steal your heart away.
Hey, if you want to really destroy somebody's life, there's this person named they're verified. I don't know how. What do you have to provide? They have their Discord in here.
Okay, I'll look into that.
3 mutual servers. He's in your servers! Oh my god!
victimA, that's what we're going to call this first one, is a 15-year-old who claimed on their profile, their pediverse profile, to be 19. They are a self-described AAM zoophile and necrophile, and AAM, I'm just going to say this once and not repeat it, AAM stands for Adult Attracted Minor. Adult Attracted Minor. They are currently on only one instance, and that is, which is like the most milquetoast one out of all the pediverse instances, I'm going to be honest with you. They are a pretty big fan of mine, and not only that, but after discovering they are a fan of mine, we also discovered that they are not actually 19. This completely changed the dynamic. It, like, pretty much 180'd my entire perception of them, and it recontextualized all their posts. Scrolling through their feed, I then realized they had posts where they were just, can I say this? Just asking to be victimized? Honestly, I think when I first got groomed, I didn't like it. Why? Probably because I didn't like the person, and they weren't nice. Now, if it was a nice person, I'd probably like it, because in my personal opinion, I'm being treated fair still, making it right on my end. Now, considering they were a fan of mine, I felt the urge to, like, see if I could contact them and leverage this kind of, like, fan parasocial connection to do some actual good and see if I could get them off of pedi for their own personal safety.
That's really just what I wanted. That's really just what I wanted to say is, like, preferably you should probably get out of this for, like, your own personal safety. I don't have, I can't, like, obviously force you. I would implore you to, because just for your own personal safety.
Yeah, but honestly, thank you. It actually makes me feel better, because, like...
It went well. They opened up to me about a lot of things that I'm not even gonna... Even though they gave me, like, permission to, I don't even want to put that shit on here because they're 15. I'll mostly just kind of chop up clips from that, but...
If I may ask, what drew you to the space to begin with?
I think, honestly, I just... consider, like I said, my mental health was declining, and I just...
For the next 30 minutes, they then explained to me the crisis that led them to pedi, and while I'm obviously not going to put any of that here because, they're 15, I do still want to kind of, like, summarize it and just tell you, like, why it's impactful. Pretty much, someone their age victimized them and made them do, like, take illicit photos of themselves and just do very, not good things, and blackmailed them with this normalized abuse in their eyes, and then they sought out a community that was, privy to that. People on pedi obviously took advantage of their vulnerability and welcomed them into the community with open arms.
I want to say I gained PTSD from I'm not a psychologist or anything, but...
I mean, it's not a far-fetched to say that it did, considering, I mean, you were as a minor. That's a pretty, like, traumatic event to go through, so,
Feeling in my stomach, like the urge to throw all this guilt out of my body, and it's just so terrible because I feel like I want to tear my skin apart, and it's like, And I hate it, because, like, I just wish that I didn't have these problems to begin with, so that way I could just, like, chillax a little more,
And then they woke up the next morning and then texted me, yo, good morning, funny fishing man. Thank you for talking to me about yesterday. That honestly made me feel so much better. Just putting that here. That made me feel good. That was good. That was a positive experience. So the only reason I read that to you is because I think it's an excellent contrast to what actually ended up happening. Yeah, despite a very good interaction, where it felt like they were really going to get off pedi for their own good, they got back on. They got back on May 13th, which was less than 2 months after I talked to them about it. Yeah. Then I was disappointed. But then ultimately, I was like, you know what? I cannot help someone who will not help themselves.
This has got to be one of the most downright retarded things I've ever said. Yeah, I don't know what the I was thinking here, like, oh darn, the 15-year-old relapsed and returned to the abusive environment. Well, guess I'll just give up entirely. Solving this was so f***ing simple. I just went to them in DMs, asking if they were okay, and then I noticed they had got back on. They vented to me about what had happened. I urged them to delete their account so that if they had another crisis, that temptation would no longer be there. They deleted it. So, yeah, like, whatever, oh, I can't help someone who won't help themselves, bullshit I was on there, dude. That's that autistic, rigid thinking. Anyways,
yeah, that one's kind of, that one has kind of a melancholy
joyous
ending. Let's go to the next victim.
And you're making eyes at me.
victimB. victimB is a 14-year-old girl. She reached out to me when she learned that I was making a video on pedi. She describes herself as a pedophile ally, an AAM, and also a seller. You'll learn what that little fun tag is for. She told me that she got on pedi about 4 months after turning 14. You know what I was doing when I was 14? Fucking making videos about rogue gangsters. So I can't say I was too much better. Oh, but here's the main kicker. She engages with pedophiles sexually for money and attention. She isn't actually into any of it, but she is into the money and attention that she gets. Sorry about the dog.
Unfortunately, she's still involved in pedi and would face repercussions from her predators if they found out she's been working with me. So, for her safety, I'm not going to quote directly from any of these messages to make sure they aren't traceable. She shares images of herself on pedi and gets hundreds of creeps in her inbox, some of which are up to 60 years old. They'll ask her if she'll send CP, if she'll post CP, if they can buy things for her, how they want to her, how they want her to her 4-year-old nephew. And that's just the stuff I could fit into a single paragraph.
She told me on Matrix that it was 50% because she gets money and 50% because Gooner's just giving me stuff for free. She said, none of this bothers me so much. Not gonna lie, most of me hates it, but a little bit of me sticks to it. I asked her if she felt like she couldn't get out. I was essentially trying to extend the olive branch to fucking help her, because I feel fucking bad when a 14-year-old is telling me that they bait, pedophiles for attention. I can get out, I'm just not doing it, lol. I feel like it's likely due to my maturity, but my age pulling me down. I think most teens are dumb, and they make dumb choices. I treat myself as an adult, because I'm basically there. There's no one like me, so I'll go to people who will treat me good without thinking that I'm immature. I want to be around people who will accept me without lying most of the time. I don't think much needs to be said about that. I don't really want to attack a 14-year-old for, her reasoning. I don't want to attack her for that. I don't want to be like, this shows the clear delusion of... It's like, no shit, she's 14. She also opened up about her experiences actively being groomed and preyed on by a 26-year-old predator on pedi who goes by ELIPSE. She told me that ELIPSE would pay her for child for taking nudes for him and stuff. Yeah, that's a super crime, by the way. Just for anybody who maybe doesn't know. Fear not, I don't think that was too descriptive. Sounds like this guy really gets around like that. So, he'll hear, me say that, some anonymous 14-year-old girl came to me, told me about how, he paid her to, take, suggestive and, videos of herself, and he'll be like, fuck, which one? Fuck, which one, dude? You gotta give me some more details. That is not descriptive enough. Let's turn the page here. Literally, I'm gonna flip the page in the script. Let's get into ELIPSE. Let's talk about this ELIPSE character a little more.
And you're making eyes at me.
ELIPSE is a 26-year-old French pedophile and hebephile from France. He's in France. He's a Dandy's World and Homestuck fan. Can we keep a scoreboard 1 for the Dandy's World fans? I promise you're gonna be seeing him more. And he's currently on 4 pedi instances, including and which is his main. Before being on Pedi, he was a part of a hashtag on Twitter for child. Good old CP. It was called Seller Twitter. That's what now you learn what what seller means. Yeah, it means kids who sell online to adults. Not very good. ELIPSE has multiple underage victims, two of which I've talked to directly. There was victimB that I just segued from, the 14-year-old, and a new one, we'll just say victimC, who is a 16-year-old. I reached out to victimC on like March 31st, late March of this year, and he expressed that he was scared to tell me more because he was worried that ELIPSE would find out. Said, I really think I shouldn't say much. I said, are you worried about someone finding out? And he said, yep. He then sent me a full testimony, of which he then promptly deleted so that when he showed the logs to ELIPSE, it would look like he didn't say anything, which was possibly the biggest red flag here. Here's what he said. Literally, all I'll tell you is I don't like groomers or anything of sort. It makes me feel sick, and I feel the same about Zoo. I just like attention and money. I may seem like a total degen, but I'm not even into half of that shit. I'm mostly just a f***ed up, neglected teen, but I'm not stupid. I have a mostly normal life outside of this and 2 loving partners, so like, yeah, cool. Censor everything about my name, account, or anything in that. Tell me when you see it. I'm deleting it. And he did. He did delete it, and he deleted a majority of his other DMs that he sent to me. And bravo to that as well, because the way that he did it, it does make it look like I was just desperately texting him to like no response. It does make it look like that, so, bravo there. He then sent these logs to his groomer, ELIPSE, to, I guess, like, prove that he's being loyal to him or something. I don't know. But ELIPSE ended up posting them on his fucking main Pedi page, saying, LMAO, who the fuck is this? victimC just got that message. LMAO, yeah, dude, of course, I'm gonna accept your interview. Just DM me on there. You'll be safe as long as you're over 18. Hashtag evil groomer. Okay. And then he just says some more bullshit. Just says, like, I wouldn't want to do an interview because I just don't fuck with antis, and I don't want to be the centerpiece of any Pedi content, be it good or bad. I'm just here to groom and shitpost for real, for real. Yeah, so the real reason that he doesn't want to be the centerpiece is because he's like an actual criminal, just practically evading the consequences of his actions. Per victimB, he has child of victimC that he has shared around to other people, which is another one of those, that's another one of those super crimes. You know how there are crimes and then there are super crimes? That's one of those. That's what I'm gonna say for our little French boy ELIPSE. 26-year-old super predator. What Hillary Clinton would call a super predator, okay? Well, maybe not because he's not black. Yeah, Hillary Clinton would. His skin is not dark enough for Hillary Clinton to call him a super predator.
Super predators.
Yeah. So that's victimB and C. We're gonna move on to the big whopper. The big whopper, which is victimD.
And you're making eyes at me.
But it's the kind of thing that you get really scared to share about and tell other people about.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even told anybody in my personal life that I've gone through it, and it's still difficult for me to even say shit over like the internet to other people about it, because it's just like, it's like so much.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the users on the instances that are around or are not around anymore have hurt me in ways that I'm literally still processing. I have had hundreds of conversations with hundreds of different people, and I've been manipulated into doing all kinds of different things, and I'm literally incapable of viewing myself as anything other than what I've done.
victimD is a 16-year-old self-described AAM, adult attracted minor, like I have already gone over. They are connected to a bunch of pediverse instance owners, like all of them pretty much. They reached out to me on April 2nd when they learned, that I was making a video on the pediverse. They offered me all their experiences and just wanted to contribute overall because of the pain that the pediverse has caused them. They told me about the long list of adults and other people that victimized them on the pediverse. This long list are the ones that I'm about to get into. Starting with a 28-year-old woman named Rachel. Yeah. The admin of groomed me into running my own site until I cracked under the pressure of abuse and exploitation and ran off to Kiwi Farms. That was unsuccessful and I got banned after making all of 4 posts. From there I continued running instances while ostracized from the community because of what I did. They opened up more about Ray in the interview I had with them, so we can cut to clips of that.
Yeah, the admin of Ray, she's the kind of person who will do that a lot. Lie directly to your face, even though it's kind of the opposite thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a history of doing that with me. She likes to gaslight me a lot. A lot. And she likes to make fun of how I was abused on her platforms.
Let's zoom in on fucking Rachel. Let's learn a little bit about our friend Rachel.
When you're making eyes at me.
Hey guys, before I get into talking about Rachel today, I just want to say that Rachel, in spite of this video coming out, is now fleeing the country for fear of being exposed and threatening to put my docs on the front page. It's unclear the front page of what, but Rachel, I'm shaking in my boots. Everybody, stay calm. Don't say mean things about f***ing Rachel. She's gonna put my docs on the front page of the pediverse. Oh no!
Rachel is a 28-year-old woman from a veteran pedophile, zoophile, and also kind of racist too, I would say, yeah. Owner of several instances, past and present. There's probably so many more than are even on this f***ing list, but I think as well, and then .top, which is their current one now. Ray is very hated on Pedi for drama that is so sprawling that I'm not even going to get into it. I guess long story short is pedos hating other pedos who are slightly worse than them. Here's the kind of bullet points with Ray. Despite claiming to be clean for, posterity's sake, she consumes CP. She allows CP on her current instance, top, and I also have multiple testimonies, one of which from a former partner of hers about how she consumes CP. But the real big kicker with Ray is that Ray grooms minors with the intent of making them for her sexual pleasure.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Content warning, breath play, another implied AAM death. She just stopped responding after this. I hope she is okay. Blushed face. Content warning implied yay, and AAM is going to themselves. They came up with it all on their own, and it was super cute. Pressuring a minor into and nefarious acts for the 10th time this week, now that those other instances defeated since they can't save them anymore. Pressured another minor into on camera, about to blackmail a 13-year-old into themselves. Time to turn on the fentanyl to set the mood. Words. Cannot explain what I just read. She also has a lengthy history of misconduct that I don't feel like going into because I'm not fucking Turkey Tom. Get this, guys. She allegedly stabbed her ex-boyfriend back in 2017 by her own admission. I guess Left Twitter found out about me stabbing my ex-boyfriend 3 years ago, and now I'm getting canceled. Yeah, God, fucking cancel culture these days. Can't even fucking stab a man without having those fucking triggered libs get on. Oh, here's an old account she had on an instance called freespeechextremist. This is where I said that she's racist. This is why I say that she's racist. Yeah, I
celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the information purification.
Oh, bonus. Here's bonus round. Bonus round from the same free speech extremist account. She also said, "Can you imagine how?" I don't even want to read this. We're not reading this one. Oh yeah, and she was called out in detail for severely grooming a 15-year-old back in like what, 2020? Yeah, 2020. Oh, and this just fucking in. She saw my last video and she had some choice words for me about it that I'm gonna read for you now. After watching the gone fishing video, I do have to say, here it comes. I think his GF might be a para because there are some parts where he really cuts through some of our bullshit with great poignancy, but in a way I don't think non-paras would really consider. I don't really say that about many people either. He just comes across as really understanding the community and some people's motivations on a very psychoanalytical level, and I don't think that's an aspect people would even bother with unless he knew someone in the community. I hate saying stuff like this too, yeah, I'm so sure, but I think he is trying to redeem his girlfriend, lol, especially when at the end he gets absurdly vicious. It reminds me of when my girlfriend got cancelled by another map. Just reeks of desperation. So, you're gonna be seeing this. You're gonna see this again. It comes up again, this narrative, this idea, pretty much as like a coping mechanism. These guys have decided that because I'm well researched, that must mean that like there's like some secret like underlying motivations there. Yeah, man, my girlfriend is secretly on the fucking pediverse and like minors IRL. That's why I am so she's on pedi and she's kids, and it's like a vent. I'm venting in this video. So that's just one of the predators that is preyed on victimD. Let's go to the fucking joyous and whimsical next one. Yay!
And you're making eyes at me.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
This guy is called VenomWave.
Ryan is a 21-year-old electronic music producer from DC. He is signed to something called Carnival Gang LLC, and his debut album No Outlet in 2023 netted him about 30,000 streams as of the date that I wrote this. 31,000, let's not discount that. The album earned him favorable reviews from a bunch of AOTY users, including, most notably, Brad Taste in Music, who gave it an 81 out of 100. 81 out of 100! That's pretty damn good. Okay. Ryan still makes music as far as I'm aware. Maybe that's gonna change after this comes out, because turns out that Ryan is actually also a massive fucking pedophile.
This guy I specifically remember called Yifcave. Well, they would go by Yifcave on the whole fediverse thing. They're actually a musician by the name of VenomWave. They make music. It's okay. They have a shit fetish. They have a gore fetish. So you can kind of really tell a lot of things about their character just from that. They coerced me into carving their fediverse alias into my thigh on more than one occasion, which is a trend actually. They really do. They have a thing for that. I have a lot of different scars all over my body of different names, and it's really fun because it's like whenever I look at myself, it's a reminder, you know?
He has an alternate alias that he created back in 2021 for NSFW. The alias is Yifcave, no spaces. It was initially just his NSFW Twitter account that he created when he was 17, about to turn 18. Age and location, all ages welcome. Gay, love and love getting sexualize me. His location read 21 to 5. Pedo and map welcome. Okay. He would post things like, allow me to just educate you, in school and wishing I could get my ass. I'm not reading that. Quick reminder again, my DMs are open for everyone, all ages. I'm here to have fun. DM whatever you want. Waking up to talk to all you guys all day until I pass out is the best. Not a moment where I'm not X3. Morning, everyone. Time for another day of being your Oh, God. But that was 3 years ago. That was 3.5 years ago when he first created the Yif Cave alias. He then used it sometime like last year, and probably before that too, on the pediverse, creating an account on a now defunct instance called... Hey, it's that one that I mentioned already. In June to July of last year, he groomed, sexted, and preyed on victimD when they were just 15 years old.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Here's a little crime we like to call enticement of a minor via electronic device. Come to DC. Are you coming here yet? Minor, I'll you. Come, I basically gave you my coordinates. Can you give me map flag thigh highs pretty please? I said come here you I want your we're not gonna says you begging for like a nerd. Only nerds beg for that, therefore you are a nerd. I'm not gonna I'm gonna come. I'm just a hop skipping away. Need weed and child touching. Need, can we get that one again? Need, weed, and child touching. Of course, complete with the crying emojis. Oh, here's him trying to get her to send, where victimD asks, hey, how do you take good ass pics? And he says, lay in bed probably and prop your phone on something and put the timer on like 10 seconds, then maybe if you want. If you want. You know, he's such a gentleman, you know, when he's commissioning child, he throws in a if you want. That's how much of a fucking gentleman fucking Ryan VenomWave is. Oh, did I even mention his name? VenomWave. That's VenomWave. That's the music guy. He makes the music. You could look him up. You could find all his music under VenomWave. Oh yeah, the thing about him carving, like making the victim carve his name into her thigh, that's real. That's actually real. That's actually real. Unfortunately, he was smart enough to not do that on Discord, but you can still find proof that he did it on Discord because they talked about it afterwards. Now, considering Venom is a public person, right? He's got a public platform with, you know, stuff associated with it. I figured I would give him the opportunity to explain himself and defend himself before I publicized this information in the video that you're watching now. So I reached out to him in early April, just, you know, for that. He said, yo, what's good? I said, hey man, I'm a content creator and I recently received evidence alleging some pretty serious misconduct of yours. I won't go into too much detail, but you stand accused of being a pedophile, and since you're also a public figure, I want to give you an opportunity to explain/defend yourself before I publicize said info. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then let me know and we can set up a time to call whenever you're available. If not, then hey, can't say I didn't try. He then ghosted me for 12 hours. First deleting my messages in his server, then deleting his server in its entirety. So your response is to ghost me, delete my messages in your server so nobody sees, and then ban me from your server when I wasn't looking, as if I wasn't gonna notice. Do you really have nothing to say for yourself? And I thought he banned me because I didn't realize he just deleted it. He says, I deleted my server because it was inactive anyways. I will respond when I have time for a proper conversation. That kind of claim isn't something I'ma just ignore. Can you take a guess what happened? Can you take a guess? He did ignore it. He ignored it. It's been how long? 2 months. I reached out to the owner of the LLC that he's signed to, this guy, Jacob, to inform him that he is platforming a child predator. He was in shock, but, you know, he thanked me for doing so, and he told me that Venom told his group chat that he, quote-unquote, woke up to his Discord being deleted, despite having deleted it himself. Oh, Jacob also told me that Venom has been, like, going in offline mode, like, specifically just to fucking ignore me like a middle schooler. Just hoping that if he just hides behind, like, a lampshade that I won't see him. Like, you're still there, dude. I fucking see you. It's so obvious. He's been doing this for 2 months. I have not seen... He's been on my friends list the whole time. I have not seen him go into online mode in 2 fucking months. Yeah, that's really the hallmark of someone who, is really sorry about their actions, surely. Can't say I didn't try. I tried a fuck ton. I tried a fuck ton more than maybe was even necessary. I just wanted to seal the way shut so that he couldn't come back and be like, you didn't even give me an opportunity to defend myself, or, you know, some bullshit like that. You know how it goes. You know how it always goes. Are we at the bottom of victimD's predators? Are we at the bottom of the people that have preyed on victimD? No, we're not. There's more. And this one is a little bit of a... This was a little interesting. I'll just say that much. This one is a little interesting. Title card. AetherDX. Now, if you recognize that name, you probably need to go outside or finish your f***ing middle school homework for reasons that I'm about to get into. AetherDX is a 22-year-old from Christchurch, New Zealand. They have falsely claimed numerous times that they are actually 16 to avoid accountability. Just ignore those. They're actually 22. They moved in Christchurch, New Zealand, where they currently live, with other pediverse predators, many of whom fled their home country. Home countries. AetherDX is most known for their contributions to the Friday Night Funkin' community. And if you knew that before I said it, like I said, you know, Mrs. Stevenson's fucking language arts class, get your homework done, bucko. They composed music for whatever the hell Bob's Onslaught is. It has a theory by MatPat. Whatever Bob's Onslaught is. I'm sure we'll have some historians in the comment section that will let me know what that is.
A character named Ron, who is literally a dancing meme folder. His song, when cranked up to 1.75 speed, by the way, is my favorite to come out of anything Friday Night Funkin' related. Not gonna lie, thing is a bop. This is
There was a little Spanish flea. Sorry, yep, can't play it because, oh what? AetherDX likes to copyright strike people that play their music.
They were called out in the FNF community 4 years ago for what I would just describe as like general nondescript abusive behavior. And little do people know, but since then, they have regrouped and reclused onto the pediverse under various new aliases, the most important ones being Chloe and Alice. They created instances called and they were also an admin for one of the worst pediverse instances, which is AetherDX supposedly quit Pedi, though, actually, about a little over 6 months ago on November 29th to, what is pretty obviously just cover their tracks, resigning as the owner of and transferring its ownership to victimD.
I also got with AetherDX, or as they're now known, Rabbit or Strawberry or whatever f***ing alias they go by today. I thought it was really weird that they tried to play themselves off as like a 16-year-old to me for the longest time, only to admit that they were actually like 20-something, 22 now. Yeah, AetherDX says they're trans age. They have a trans age 16-year-old alter. Which is only a little offensive. I don't know. I mean, I have dissociative identity disorder, and I think it's a little weird how they use it as a scapegoat to say, oh, well, that's not me. It's actually the fictive named Tim that killed you. Take up with him and not me, even though we share the same mental space.
Yeah, they groomed and abused victimD between August to December of 2024, including sending nudes to and receiving nudes from a minor victimD who was 15. Oh, but just to really understand who we're talking about here, could we get a picture of AetherDX on the screen? I don't think anybody's ever seen these before. I couldn't find them anywhere. As far as I know, they were just sent to the victim, so, you know. Fucking Mardi Gras, we got the face of another pedophile.
Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm in a mood to send an ass pic. Do you want one? Now worship me and tell me how much you love my big ass. Okay. victimD said, I took a picture when I got out of the shower, but it's kinda bad. Wanna see? Yes, said AetherDX. victimD then sent it, and then AetherDX said, cutie, I wanna rub my... Jesus Christ. Okay. Jesus fucking Lord. Pedophiles, am I right? victimD has since testified that AetherDX has at least 6 nude photos from them. And as a little bonus, here's some of their comments on Pedi. Going to a toy store with an AAM and letting them wait outside while you pick out toys for them. Okay. Kissing a dog and letting okay, nope. Loving them isn't enough. I have to traumatize them. Thank you, AetherDX.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. AetherDX has had a number of very colorful responses since the initial Pedi video went up on July 24th. Their first of which was to blame their victim, victimD, for everything, claiming that it was all consensual and that they didn't groom them. It was actually one of their fake DID alters. So that's fantastic. They also accused me of semi-doxing them because I said the city that they live in, a city that has a population of 400,000 people, and then offered to do an interview with me, then pussied out the same day when given the actual opportunity to. But out of all their responses, their most outrageous one is that on September 3rd, they actually launched a malicious copyright strike against the last video that I uploaded. Just a throwaway video, just less than 30-minute video talking about the situation. They did this malicious copyright strike to not only me, but various other creators, at one point even striking someone's video down because they re-uploaded my music. My music, of which AetherDX is now claiming that they own the full rights to. These malicious copyright strikes were issued because of an image of their character, their FNF character, that was on screen, at least in my video, for 6 motherfucking seconds. The mod they're claiming this is from isn't even the same mod. And that's just surface level. I could go into so much more detail about how this violates copyright law, and if you want to read it, then here you go. I also think it's really awful that in their pursuit to get all traces of my video wiped off the platform, they decided it would be apt to target others who did nothing more than play their mods in a video 4 years ago. In one instance, even issuing multiple copyright strikes to someone who worked on the mod themselves. When I confronted them about this in email, they at first just shrugged it off, then accused me of serious wrongdoing, then started playing the victim. They just had like a full breakdown in email talking about how they're a horrible person to like try and manipulate me here. This is all I have left. I have no one else to cling to. I never wanted things to be this way. But what choice do I have now? I'm a terrible person to my core now, and the real reason as to why I never did the interview? They threatened me otherwise, ruined me beyond comprehension, made me into a husk of the person I was. I don't want your sympathy, nor do I feel I deserve it. What's going to change, Tristan? Are you going to get me out of this? One of the most manipulative f***ing messages I have ever. So, anyways, that's my, update on AetherDX. We can go back to our regularly scheduled programming.
For thousands of years, he was a predator.
So, those are like some of the fucking predators who have preyed on victimD. That isn't even all of them. They told me about more. Now, here comes the plot twist. Maybe don't say that before you're about to say something like victimD, the 16-year-old, has been a target of the FBI in their ongoing investigation against Pedi. Bum bum bum. Transition, cliffhanger, f***ing part number #2.
Every time you get a chance, you're teasing me somehow. Soon I'll get you in a trance and have you take a vow.
Bureau maintains the most modern and completely equipped crime detection laboratory in the world.
The FBI has been active in what we could call a sprawling investigation into Pedi for about 1.5 years now. At the time I'm recording this, they were tipped off about Pedi by someone that I've been working with, who I'm just going to refer to as Source 1. They were tipped off about Pedi in about, early February of 2024. What you'll notice with these first responses is that, at first the FBI actually delivered, competent responses that sound like they were written by a fucking human. Source 1 would write them, detailed information about their, initial findings about Pedi, and the FBI agent initially, Zoe from the Atlanta division, responded with,
"Thank you very much for sending this information and background to me. This is definitely helpful. I am currently out of the office until the end of the next week, but upon my return I will do a thorough review of what you sent me and will email you with any additional questions."
I hate to inform you, but their responses get much more dull after that. That was the peak of their responses. They go so sharply off a fucking cliff after that. Source 1 would still write them like detailed information, but eventually they would just start responding with,
I have received this information. Thank you for passing it along. I have received this information. Thank you.
Thank you, law enforcement. Really fucking, yeah, I really feel, we really feel protected over here. As if that wasn't already excellent service enough. From this point onward, the case would actually be stalled so much that the FBI continually rotated agents. Like, they stalled for so long that the case just kept being tossed over, just hot potatoed to a different agent, sometimes in a different fucking department from a different fucking state. Because this agent, Zoe, then responds,
I am currently out of the office on maternity leave with an anticipated return in August of 2024. If you need assistance regarding... Yeah, no worries, Special Agent Zoe. We could just wait. We could put it on hold for 4 months and allow more kids to be, victimized and preyed on. It's really, take your time with...
So, obviously, Source 1 then wrote the FBI a month later. Same department at this point, the FBI in Atlanta. The FBI new agent this time, Thomas writes back, Thank
you for sending. As far as the chat logs, just hold off for right now. Thank you.
So, Source 1 then wrote the FBI multiple times in between then and the end of May 2024. Yes, the end of May 2024. 3 months had already elapsed at the time of this, and the FBI has done nothing. Children are being harmed every single fucking day on this site. FBI, zilch. Lone actors and vigilantes had done more at this point to, hurt Petty than the FBI in 3 fucking months.
I am growing frustrated with how no action has been taken yet. I have been watching these websites for almost 8 months. I have been providing evidence to the FBI for several of those months. I am worried that a child will go missing, though I'm assuming that's already happened with how often the people on these websites talk about how easy it is to kidnap them. There is a huge underlying issue with these websites, and this needs to be taken more seriously. I really hope that you guys are taking this seriously and will do something soon, because the longer this goes on, the worse it gets and the more children that end up I have received your emails, and we are working on this matter. I appreciate your assistance with the information that you have provided to the FBI.
Thank you, Thomas. I'm sure you really do us. I'm not even going to entertain that because this is actually the last time that they heard from the FBI in Atlanta. Yeah, the FBI in Atlanta actually just forfeit the case after this. They have done nothing since then. And if it wasn't for Source 1 reaching out to a different department in a different fucking state, nothing would have happened from here. I repeat, the FBI in Atlanta just gave up on the case after this. Nothing that has happened with the case has been because of them. They gave up. This was over a fucking year ago and nothing. So like I said, then Source 1 deferred to a different division of the FBI in a different state, this time Tampa, specifically the Violent Crimes Against Children Department in Tampa, or an agent working in the Violent Crimes Against Children Department, Special Agent M.E.
I was in contact with an FBI department in Georgia about so-and-so, but they haven't done anything. And every time I call, they send me to a new agent who has no clue what is going on.
Predictably, the FBI in Tampa then aired them for 3 fucking months. 3 months. The FBI aired them for 3 months. And then finally responded back in fucking November of 2024. At this point, it had been 9 months since this was first reported to the feds, and they have done diddly fucking squat. They have done zilch nada.
I received information you provided online and have some questions for you. I left a message on your phone as well. Please reach out to me.
Okay, Mr. Well, so they got a call from the feds, from Agent, I assume, and after this call, Source 1 continued to work diligently, against Petty, updating the FBI. A few weeks later, it was in the following weeks that Source 1 learned about victimD, and they would send the FBI several emails about them. In total, writing them 6 emails between December 31st, 2024 and January 6th, 2025. Which is, like an email a day.
Earlier today, someone I work with sent me some information about a somewhat new pediverse instance. This instance is run by a minor, known as victimD. The reason I believe this is urgent is because victimD is posting sexual images of himself to this instance where child predators are consuming it. These posts contained real child and none of it has been taken down. Even the website owner, victimD, is posting sexually explicit content. victimD and her friend victimE came to me asking to assist getting onto his website. They had sent explicit messages that someone from pediverse showed up to I sent my team to help. She immediately went back to using the website more specifically so the website was actively setting
victimD also told us she had been doxxed before, but I am having trouble finding any personal information on her to give you. I do not have a location on her, unfortunately, but I believe she lives in the location listed on her account.
You know what Agent ME responded with all 6 of those emails by saying? Agent ME said,
Do you know who this victimD person is?
After being told, like, in detail who they were, I guess he just didn't have time to do the job that he was paid to do by the federal government. In the Violent Crimes Against Children Department, I guess they don't have a whole lot of reading comprehension in the Violent Crimes Against Children Department. He obviously just had to respond saying, like, if you would read the fucking emails, you know, you would see, yeah, I told you exactly who victimD was. After this, you know, clarification that they had already disclosed who victimD was, the FBI then, you know, locked in, went all out. They laser focused in on victimD, and victimD became their primary suspect. That's like subject, I would say. They tasked Source One. I would say they tasked Source One. Really, they just asked them, you know, like for info on this person, on victimD. Source One made a Discord account specifically to talk to victimD and gave the FBI permission to impersonate them using it. They said, I made the account specifically to speak to victimD. I gave them access. I told them they could use my alias to talk to her. They didn't. So I kept talking to her and she gave me pediverse admin chat logs. And guess what? They didn't fucking save them. I couldn't because they had illegal content and they just didn't save the most important piece of evidence I spent over a year trying to get. When they say they mean the FBI. The FBI didn't fucking save the logs that victimD sent them. Should also be noted that the FBI, specifically the, you know, Violent Crimes Against Children Department, Mr. Officer fucking ME, didn't know how to use Discord and, like, needed help. Source One said that the agent made them bypass two-factor authentication and then put them on speakerphone to explain how to navigate fucking Discord to the he's a part of the Violent Crimes Against Children. This is why nothing's ever gonna happen. This is why nothing ever happens. The law and, like, the federal government are, like, perpetually 10 fucking years at least behind anything that goes on the fucking internet. Like, we have to save ourselves because Discord has been out for a fucking decade and you have the Violent Crimes Against Children Department who are like, hey, first time user, what's the whole thing with this Discord app? I really need some help. Okay, put it this way, if there's online grooming happening, it's on Discord. It's just crazy to me that there are FBI agents, a part of the Violent Crimes Against Children Department, that, like, don't know how to fucking use it. Not like it's even that hard to use. Like, this inability to use Discord also led to this agent, Mr. ME, accidentally leaving the group chat with the victims from Source One's account on February 19th. Yes, actually, dude just fucking left while logged into the account. Once again, after this remarkable performance, predictably, you could probably see where I'm going, but they left Source One on hold for another, like, nearly 3 months. Only intervening when we could say something happened that interrupted their work. Now, this is a little speculatory. So, you know, and maybe I'm giving them too much credit to even assume they were working. But if they were, then this is a pretty big fucking coincidence, I would say.
A large-scale nuclear attack.
Just be aware right now, there is an anti-messaging users on Matrix and Discord to try and get dirt for a video they are making for their YouTube channel, Gone Fishing. This is the actual Gone Fishing. Please say this is a joke. A fucking video about Petty is hell no, I'm Gone Fishing. I understand this video. Trust me, I don't want to discuss with Petty. I hope you're safe. My Gone Fishing. Water himself.
Maybe I'm speculating a little too much here, but you're just mighty coincidental. But regardless, they got back to source one. You know, something. If it wasn't me, something prompted them to get back to source one. And they said, we are reaching out regarding the tip you submitted during the December 2024 to January 2025 timeframe. The previous case agent, this is the banger. The previous case agent you spoke with has retired, and a new agent has been assigned to the case. Please anticipate a phone call from the new case agent for clarifying information. So yes, Agent M.E. fucking Wright of the Violent Crimes Against Children Department, in between the time that they were ghosting Source 1, M.E. fucking retired from the FBI. So that's just a banger in and of itself. The fact that, like, a guy just retired in the time that they were ghosting Source 1, that's excellent. I think that's great. After that, though, like they said in the email, they wanted to have a phone call with Source 1. They then had a phone call with them at about 10:30 a.m. on Friday, April 4th. And they told me about it that day, like just hours after it happened, if not the hour after it happened. I spoke with the FBI today. I am sorry, but it is not a smart idea to make this video right now. They explicitly told me to not go on the websites just to avoid getting in trouble. Right now, they're working on a subpoena of some sorts. I don't know how this will play out, so I think it's just best to not do it at this time. I hope you can understand the severity of what is happening and choose to drop it for the time being. I cannot give details on what I was told today. Sorry. I don't want to have to beg, but please, for the love of God, put everything on pause until I am given more information. Obviously, I didn't want to f*** up something that was a part of a federal investigation, so I agreed to put it on pause. It was after agreeing to put it on pause, though, that Source 1 informed me that the person that the FBI was seeking to subpoena was the 16-year-old victimD. Do not talk to her at all past this point. It is too risky. Just don't speak to her or interact. I don't know what's up for me, so I'd recommend just staying out of this while you can. Now, I didn't exactly abide by that. You know, what can I say? I didn't exactly abide by that. It was actually the interview that I had with them that I already played clips from that took place after I knew that they were being targeted by the FBI. Now, despite knowing that they were being targeted by the FBI and the FBI was planning to subpoena them, I did not inform them. Why? Well, I didn't inform them because I didn't want to fuck up what Source 1 had told me. I didn't know if they would get in trouble for telling me this. I don't know how confidential it was that they told me this while the FBI was like planning to pursue it. Instead, what I hope to do is that I hope to like steer them away from Petty so that they were no longer of interest to the FBI, pretty much. That was my goal. And it seemed to have worked because, thankfully, after working with them for a few weeks, they left not only Petty, but the entire internet as a whole in late April. I wanted to say I was sorry for all the inconsistency in my behavior. I've been in a bad space because of all this, and I've been making the worst possible decisions. I told my mom about it all last night, and I'll be taking a break from the internet probably for all of summer break. All my friends cut me off for good reason. I don't have, like, anything anymore. It sucks because I could try to explain it, but they won't get it until I'm in a better space to speak, and that's completely okay. I'm glad they can establish boundaries better than I can. I think I have a lot of learning to do about a lot of things. I've been a not good person and a not good friend for a long time. And they left after that. I was really hopeful that this was going to deter them from being of interest to the FBI, that because they were off Petty, of course, you know, that the FBI wouldn't fucking pursue them anymore. And I was happy to have helped them get off Petty. You could already tell this is like, unfortunately, this was short-lived, as the FBI then showed up at their door on Wednesday, June 4th of this year. They obtained victimD's information by subpoenaing Discord for their billing address associated with their Nitro subscription. So just word to anybody with a Nitro subscription, Discord is gonna rat you out. If push comes to shove, Discord is gonna rat you out. Frankly, Discord is like required to do that because it's a court order. But now the FBI on arrival to their house claimed to be performing a quote unquote welfare check, which knowing what I know because of Source 1 informing me months before this happened, that wasn't always the plan. Yeah, they were actually planning to hit fucking victimD with a court order if they didn't comply. But on the surface, they're just coming home and just saying like, hey, you know, we're worried about you. Have you been drinking enough water? Like, I found out about this visit because of Source 1, and then I reached back out to victimD on their new Discord account, and they told me more about what had happened that day. And she said, on Wednesday, like 10 in the morning too, my fucking mom woke me up and told me, victimD, the FBI is at the door, get dressed. High key, I'm really scared, gang. Like, really scared. My mom keeps telling me that I'm gonna be okay and I won't be in trouble and shit, but like when they came, I told them about as much as I could about Fetty within the like 20-30 minutes they were there. I obviously asked what kind of stuff they told them about Fetty/Pedi, you know, if it was like their personal experience on the matter or if it was more like, I don't know, basic info. victimD said both. They didn't know what a Fediverse was even. They didn't know what a Fediverse was. Sometimes silence is really the best answer. Fuck them. I get paid to speak. No, the fucking FBI, violent crimes against children. You're fucking raiding the house of a 16-year-old, and yet you don't even know, like, the fucking reason you're there. You don't even know about it. You seemingly don't even know what it is. For all that the fucking FBI knows, they could still be on fucking MySpace. Like, yeah, we got a call. You're using fucking Napster to send fucking CSM nudes to pedophiles? What's up with that? Okay. Here's the lightning round, what we could call recap. It took the FBI just under 500 days to take even a single action against Pedi, 484 days to be exact. During that time, it took divisions from 3 different departments across 3 different states to get anything done, one of which, the first division, just outright ignored and pretty much forfeit the case after a while. Just didn't do anything about it, didn't refer it to anybody else clearly, because the ones that showed up at victimD's door didn't say they got it from Georgia, they said they got it from fucking Tampa. During the investigation, the FBI repeatedly tasked agents to the case who either, number 1, didn't understand technology, or number 2, just clearly couldn't give a fraction of a single fuck about the problem. Ultimately, it came down to the sheer determination of Source 1 to get the FBI to perform even a single action against the Pediverse in 500 fucking days. That action being the visit to and subsequent deposition of or by victimD, focused almost singularly on their interactions with one predator being. To say that the FBI, by focusing almost singularly on victimD, not only victimD, but like, to say that they would be missing the forest for the trees is an understatement. I would say that they're more accurately missing a single tree in an entire forest for a pine cone. That's really the scale at which they're missing here, because they're not even just focusing on victimD, they are focusing on just one of the predators who preyed on victimD when there are a fucking whole roster of others. And when I say a whole forest that they're missing, it's because like victims A through D that I listed aren't even all of the fucking victims that have confided in me with their experience. I could talk about victim E, a 14-year-old who confided in me with their experience being victimized by someone who goes by Zoocat. They were groomed into sending illicit pictures of themselves and for Zoocat's pleasure, among other terrible things. Zoocat reciprocated this and ended up sending them pictures of his STD-ridden dick. Ouch. Or I could talk about Victim F, another 14-year-old who told me about a similar encounter they had with a petty user who goes by Toddles. I think that's how it's pronounced. Toddles is an active member of the US military who groomed them into sending nudes. And that doesn't even include the countless other kids who have caved to me with their, like, just distraught experiences having to witness like CSM and other horrible shit on this fucking site, and their bewilderment, as I am also bewildered, that the federal government just like doesn't do anything about it. I ask, where's the FBI's attention on these people? Where's the FBI's attention on these people? Are we gonna have to wait 500 days for each one of them as well? Is someone like myself going to have to write 50 emails about each and every one of these people over a period of what, like 9+ months to a year just for them to do fucking anything about it? If it isn't clear by what I'm saying, the FBI has demonstrably failed the victims of petty. They don't do shit about it. They take way too long, and in that time, you know, for every one victim that they spend, fucking 500 days, pursuing or trying to help, like 100 more created, if not 10 times that, on the same instance. I don't know what the answer to that is, because I'm not even gonna pretend like vigilantism or like I'm proposing that we
criticize
all pedophiles, cause like no shit I'm proposing that. I've literally
criticized
pedophiles for fucking years. The way to get actual justice here is for the Justice Department to fucking do something. Unfortunately, in the United States of America, the Justice Department is too focused on college students who say that free Palestine and migrants and their fucking families. That's what the Justice Department is, doing. Kids that are victims of sexual violence, you're gonna have to sit this one out. And frankly, and this is the larger point that I would like to say, if we keep treating victims like that, you know what's gonna happen? Eventually, they're gonna become the predators one day down the line. They may be teenagers, kids right now, but like in a few years, they're not gonna be anymore. And if they don't get help for it, how do you think that translates over? I don't think it goes very well. For fuck's sake, victimD themselves was already showing early signs of like being a predator in the future. Whoa, how could you fucking say that? In their correspondence with VenomWave, they said things like, low-key gonna groom a minor, need to find one, how do I find kids to groom? VenomWave told them that they should go on the pediverse, but they were like, I'm too much of a super pedophile for that. They actually responded by saying, not on there, cause they all want to get knowingly groomed. I want to groom an innocent person. victimD said that. So yes, if they didn't get help, if they didn't get off the fucking pediverse, which I am thankful that I was able to like help them fucking do, I think they probably, by the time they reached adulthood in the next few years, yeah, I think they probably would have been a predator. I think they avoided that, and I think I hope they're gonna get adequate help, because there's a pipeline here. There is a pipeline. You don't just like become a pedophile without anything happening to you in a majority of cases. They will treat other people the way that they were treated, if not set straight, and this is what ends up creating these predators. These, like I said earlier, what Hillary Clinton would call super predators if they weren't white. And to dig deeper into this next part of the video is going to be looking at individuals from petty who I would say are progressing on the pipeline. They aren't full-on predators yet, but they're definitely getting there. And, you'll see exactly what I mean coming up next on Gone Fucking Fishing Pediverse. Baby, took me 6 months to fucking make this. You already fucking know. Why am I talking here? It's like the middle of the video.
Stranger, you're in danger. Don't you see I can't resist? Stranger, you're in danger. I'm going to insist.
Let's talk about Hazel. Hazel is a 16-year-old adult-attracted minor from Canada. Hazel joined under the account Rabbit Den System at Rabbit Den System. They gained a following from their posts promoting their server and celebrating pedophilia as if it's like a sexuality worthy of, having pride. They were also harassed by Kiwi Farms, and in true Kiwi Farms nature, the people on there falsely doxed them and claimed that they were someone else that they are actually not. Really great work, guys. Hazel owns the largest Discord server for the pediverse with over 100 members, at least at the time I wrote this, called Plush Bunny Paradise. I could put the updated member count on the screen if it's still up. Their previous server was called Sea Bunnies before being taken down by yours truly a few months ago. The space that they host is open for minors to be preyed on by adults, with some of the youngest members in here actually being under 13. The space they host allows minors to access NSFW channels as well, and post their, sexual desires, and interact with adults that are sharing their sexual desires. Bad thing. Hazel has billed this server as a TOS abiding experience, quote unquote. It is anything but.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Alright, so I think we've kind of stumbled across a bit of a minor endangerment epidemic. Wait, what? No, because when I was a seller, I was no limit, so people would ask me to do race play, and I didn't want people to be like, oh, so, wait. And they're saying it in past tense, and they're 15. How young were you when you were doing that? That's a kid who's doing, like, internet prostitution. Bro, I had a roleplay partner once that Nazism. Okay. Noose play. Not gonna lie, I think human meat would be more widely consumed. Alright. Wow. That is a comic of a child. Okay, and that's a child. Okay, yep, nope, yeah, that one's gonna be ingrained in my head for a while. Jeez. Reposting, because this is literally me and my mom. Cub contest, yeah, I'm killing myself. Toddler lolly. Look, man, this is your conscience speaking. How far are we gonna take this journalism shit? Because you can't just drive yourself to suicide, Okay. I created a sock account in mid-February, and I got in there lying about who I am, yada yada, and I archived their server. I got it shut down by Discord for child endangerment. Since then, since I, fucking Death Star lasered their first server, they have recouped, and I think that they're safe. They think that they're pretty safe, but really what's been going on, shout out to my friend Breezy. Breezy has infiltrated their server under my watch and gained the trust of Hazel and the entire community, actually being appointed as a moderator. Shut up, Breezy, for real. Breezy is a fucking goat, dude. Breezy's had private conversations with Hazel where they talk about me. He says things like, I guarantee he ripped all the chat logs. He's, trying to pose as a concerned member of the server to Hazel. Hazel responds, don't be so quick to assume he's smart. His type is for thrills, not activism. You got me. What can I say? You got me. Fuck, I'm so stupid.
Oh no, if it isn't the entire chat log of their server across multiple fucking months. Plush Bunny Paradise, NSFW, Paramedia, Fiction Only. Can you see how far I have to scroll here? That's a single day of messages. I'm already hating this. This isn't even NSFW, I'm already hating it. Yeah, no. Yeah, I want someone like her to on my food. Is that a Roblox profile pic? Bro, this is why I left the Roblox community. Guys, hear me out. You're kidding. Dropping these cause... No. We're already getting into the incestuous pedophilia. Jesus Christ. We're just gonna keep it cropped to this is what the f we're gonna do. Whatever my special little man needs. Reevaluate yourself. This is why I left the motherfucking Roblox community. When I was 5, I used to play with this one kid in the neighborhood, and we had toy guns, so we were role-playing shooting each other, and if he shot me, I'd fall to the ground, and he'd pretend to play with my corpse after I die, and I from that multiple times. Why did I decide that this would be a good idea again? Oh my Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, Okay, this one I can actually show. I don't know if I really want to though. That's just kidnapping. Don't tell me this one's gonna be part 2. Oh my god. It was. Don't tell me this is part 3. Oh my god. Part 4. Oh my. Jesus. 6, 7. It ends with time to die. Okay. Hey, so if you can avoid posting the murder lolly comics while I'm at work, I'd appreciate it because now I'm. And people will get upset at me when I
criticize
these people. Can we pick another? It's expensive. You promised. You said if I something an 8-year-old should not do, you'd get me a toy. Don't say that here. My boyfriend asked for no pickles. Awkward. What a heckin' awkward sauce moment. Yeah, I'm done. I'm not clicking on any more of these.
Paycheck. Hazel has issued multiple PSAs about me to Pedi. PSAs where he simultaneously downplays what I'm doing so as not to like frighten anybody, but also like says that I'm like the biggest threat to the pediverse, which I'm flattered. I think it's important to draw attention to a anti that's been lurking on radqueer spaces the past month. They call it radqueer. It's just pedophilia. This is gone fishing. I don't like how he capitalized the all lowercase when you spell the man's name. That's what I fucking say. Probably the biggest threat to the radqueer community in terms of harassment and doxing campaigns. This individual has been spotted by a few people across various instances on Pediverse as well as on Discord. Here's their description of me, by the way. This person uses the character Chikawa. This individual has a high superiority complex and views you as lesser, especially radqueer youth. He will assume that you are pure evil and will not treat you with respect. Do not engage.
Hey Hazel, what happened to don't engage? Why are you sending me messages trying to save your own ass and fucking rat out on your friends? That doesn't sound very don't engage of you.
Oh, and then here's in his server, he said something a little different. Public safety announcement, pedo hunter YouTuber currently active in map community, YouTuber gone he capitalized it properly that time. This individual is not able to be communicative and is not able to be communicative. I'm sorry, can we chill with the ableism? Look, I know I have Asperger's, okay? You didn't need to fucking... I mean, really, the ableism is just next level. Uncalled for. Here's the thing with Hazel. And why I included them in this section. They're 16, right? And they're included here because they are providing an environment where kids are being preyed on and victimized, like I've gone over already, and I'll continue to go over. But they've also opened up on their Pedi pages on nnia.space about their victimization, instances where they were victimized by adults. Today I discovered a relic of my past, an SD card representing a horrible part of my life. During this time, I was being sexually abused and I over-sexualized myself and consumed less than favorable content. Most of this was stored on this SD card. Today, after finding it, I burned it with a lighter and hit it with a hammer until it split in half. It was very therapeutic. Despite being victimized, though, Hazel, through their server, subjects minors to the same kind of things that they faced themselves. So my question for Hazel is, why does Hazel continue to host this abusive environment after facing abuse themselves? Why? Because this is a rare case where Hazel has acknowledged that they were abused. They didn't try and make it okay. They didn't say, well, if it happened today, I would like it. I would be okay with it. No, they called it abuse, and rightfully so. They were abused. From what they had described, it sounded very awful. So why do they permit it under their watch? This goes further than just being like, I don't know, someone who isn't really in charge of their server or, just doesn't really have it all together. No, they are aware of this stuff and they let it happen and encourage it. It is a server by pedophiles for fucking pedophiles. And Hazel, when you grow up, you're gonna be a pedophile. That's just what it is. The cycle repeats itself. The cycle repeats itself. You were victimized. You didn't get proper help for it. You're going to be a predator. And if you don't want that to happen, then I suggest leaving Pedi, deleting your fucking server, and going out in the real fucking world like a normal fucking 16-year-old. You're lucky that none of it has been able to follow you into the real world thus far. And I make no attempt of trying to do that. I am not doxing you. Because you're 16. Anyways. Here's another example of how a victim just, I guess, gets radicalized. Yeah. Or I guess how someone just progresses down the pedophilia pipeline.
Every time you get a chance.
Uwuaboo. Oh, this one is gonna be fucking fun. I got quite the spectacle for you here. Is a 20-year-old pedophile, zoophile, and plushophile from Arizona. She is attracted to little girls ages 9 and up. She also claims to be trans age, between the ages of 12 to 16. So that's just something fun. She is known predominantly on for her safe for work illustrations that promote pedophilia. That's how I was introduced to her as well earlier this year in January. Like, here's a drawing of a fucking lolly-like character sitting on a bed looking up at the camera with the caption being, POV, you pick up your girlfriend from middle school after a long day of work for a date at your place. You look like an absolute wreck. Messy hair, mustard stain on your shirt, tired eyes, the whole shebang. But when you look at her, she looks like she's falling for you all over again. Isn't that just so fucking wholesome? Oh, yeah, before I go on, can we get the Dandy's World counter again? Bing, bing, fucking bing, bro. This, uwuaboo is a big fucking Dandy's World fan. Don't let the media lie to you, okay? Uwuaboo is a big Dandy's World fan, so we're gonna get a big fat ding on the fucking dinger. Okay, for the Dandy's World fans, for Dandy's World Nation. We're taking some shots at Dandy's World Nation today. I don't even know what that is, by the way, but yeah, she's a huge fan of Dandy's World, and she's drawn a lot of pedophilic artwork for it as well.
I just realized I have to type out stuff and make a story, and I don't like it.
Least pedophilic Dandy's World fan.
Bro, this opening is legit.
Yeah. 9 is fucking crazy. Oh shit, she's having energy is always flowing from this tune with her heart on her sleeve. Wait, I gotta zoom in to get to the, with her heart on her sleeve and her head up high. Toodles is always on the move. Though small, she will take up any. No, go.
She'll take up any challenge, even though she can bite off more than she can chew. Oh, she referenced it off an 8-ball.
Yeah, and then she deliberately. That's what I'm trying to say. She deliberately turned it into a 9-ball because she's attracted to 9-year-olds.
Oh wait, yeah.
Nah, the way. Look at the fucking teeth she's making, bro.
Some of her public comments about pedophilia include, there needs to be more romantic map art. Like, yeah, I guess posting is cool too, but like, where's my media of a cute map couple grabbing dinner? Where's my media of a cute map couple cuddling? Where is my media of a map kissing their little girl / little boy / little NB softly on the head? We need more stuff like this. Where is my media? Where is my fucking media? Dude, I was browsing that map merch shop and I want something from there so bad. Even if it's something as simple as a pin, I still want something. But my family is stupid map phobic. Oh, here's her replying to a post that says, tell me about your ideal child partner. She says, a confident and flirty teen / preteen girl that knows what she wants and isn't afraid to say it to me bluntly. Negative assumptions are just so sad because mostly these assumptions just don't pop up out of nowhere for no reason. Society teaches kids to be afraid, and then those kids grow up and on those negative assumptions makes laws, media, and morals that hurt us. The poor pedophiles. They've just been fucking brainwashed. The kids have been fucking brainwashed against the pedophiles. Oh, here's them replying to a post asking for people's favorite pedophilic ship dynamic. They said, nah, the best one has to be shy, easily flustered adult super flirtatious kid. Imagine meeting your little girlfriend IRL for the first time, and after a long night out, y'all go to your room and just cuddle. Like, the physical affection after being apart for so long would be heaven. Put on some of your shows and snacks and just talk till you fall asleep. I want that now. Keep this motherfucker away from every single fucking middle school, elementary school in. Oh, this is where it gets fun. Those were just her public comments relating to pedophilia. Here's some of her private comments. Oh yeah, here's a clip where she victimizes herself for being a pedophile.
I kind of joke with some of my internet friends like, oh, hey, I'm kind of illegal in every country.
Yeah, like...
Or I'm hated in every group, like...
They want to find
Guys,
me.
isn't it so quirky being a pedophile?
Like, I'm either hated for the color of my skin, who I like, my gender,
you like children!
Or, like, my paras.
Yeah, love is love.
So it's like...
Oh, here's a clip where she says that she is pro-contact, pro-CSA, obviously.
So what could you not express on that cotton candy would be better for?
Oh my god, they're quiet.
Oh,
they're quiet.
They're typing it. They're about to say.
They got some crazy stuff.
Yeah, this is gonna be really...
I can explain it to you in chat if you know.
I've heard that before, but I also really don't understand.
Please, yes, tell us more about how you think raping children is good. It's complicated? Oh, okay. It's complicated. Look, I think we need to have a common sense approach to raping children.
Oh, here's a clip where she says, our time is gonna come soon, in regards to pedophiles.
Oh, calm before the storm, I guess. I feel like our time is gonna come soon.
Our time is...
And once that date comes, everything will be
take
better.
over the
We
earth.
just gotta keep pushing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we had different goals.
I'm dying, bro. She said we shall overcome.
Oh, and here's a clip where she proposes making a pedophile, like, maid cafe in real life where children would, like, wear maid dresses and serve pedophiles.
It'd be so cool to make a cotton candy themed maid cafe, if you catch my drift.
Yes, it would.
What?
No, I mean like in real life. It'd be like that, but with like cotton candy people as servers.
Yes.
And it'll have like cotton candy and berries and cream merch.
Oh, and also, is there a Sims mod where adults can date teens? I need one. That one was said in Hazel's server, actually. Why is uwuaboo on this list, right? Despite everything I listed, despite all of that shit. The reason uwuaboo is on this list is because being an aromantic pedophile that has never acted, at least to her own testimony, has not acted on this in the real world, is, I hate to say this, one of the least dangerous people on this list. Like, that lands near last place. But her inclinations to, prey on children and whatnot, I think still does highlight what someone at her stage of the victim to victimizer pipeline, looks like, and what it would look like if this was taken to the extreme. Who knows, maybe just give it a few more years and she will actually victimize a child and right? Who knows? We don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. But I do know that she is right now not very much of a danger. I'm going to be honest, mostly just been using her for like contact information and lols. We even had her react to, I guess she didn't realize that this was going to be, because she just realized that, my friend is a sleeper agent that she's been talking to. We had her react to my last video. We can play a little bit of that, but I'm going to cut it short after a few.
We should watch that guy's video through Discord.
They love and care for animals and would never want to see them in pain.
This last video in particular is really, really bad, and it's gonna come up later. And the only
wait, can you pause it real quick? Oh my god, I watched that video. Did you literally just take that hour-long video?
Literally said you're gonna come back to Atlanta.
And just take it out of context? Really?
They're literally going to say they will come back to it. Please.
Oh my god, what the hell?
They
Well,
literally
there
should have expected it. Can you say it again?
I said he must think he's some kind of psychiatrist.
Help visualize what I'm
Yeah, probably looked up like 2 articles and just
much different
ran with it and even looked at what the articles said or whatever.
Celebrating zoophilia, not as a safe haven for recovering zoophiles, but as one where their behavior is celebrated.
I hate that word. I hate recovery. Can we pause the channel? Pause it real quick. Oh my gosh, I hate the word recovery because one, it makes it sound like it's like some deadly, like awful disease. Two, it makes it sound like something you can quote unquote heal from, which we both know is bull.
Have you ever considered that video of the dog pressing the hell nah button? Yeah, just imagine if it said I want sex now. Sounds like consent to me.
Wait, what the Wait, what the was that last one? Anyways, yeah, there are a bunch of student party tricks.
Okay, that was a valid argument. What the hell? Using the buttons to communicate better. You can continue. I was just pointing that out.
Give me a second, my phone's ringing.
What? Grass fossil. National Science Foundation SNSF Prima.
Are you just gonna just rattle off names and not link anything, or?
Yeah, there's no contact.
He's literally
except there is, and it's right there. They're the only ones right, and everybody else is wrong.
Let me pause this real quick. Sorry, I just the phrase "they're as if they're the only ones right and everyone else is wrong." I feel like we both know that. All of us know this.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's not about us being right. The only thing we're right about is that we're, like, yeah, victims.
So you just said the same thing. And if you aren't a stupid kid,
or kids have been taught through generations and generations that it's wrong to be who you are, but whatever.
The brainwashing.
So far, I mean, it's kind of just all been a big nothing sandwich, right?
Not only that, but he's misrepresented points. He's purposely pulling up things that make people look bad and taking stuff completely out of context. So, great, what's next?
Yo,
this sounds perfect.
Yeah, if you got to debate this guy, what would you say to this fucking piece of shit?
I'd give him, like, actual, like, proof. He probably won't use it for his video because obviously, like, hey, maybe you should, like, you know, make actual videos instead of thought pieces that are basically just twisted sentences. You know, actually make something for once. That's
devastating.
Continue.
Smash or pass, gone fishing.
Yes.
You don't think he's handsome?
I feel like if it was looks, then smash. If it was like his personality,
am I being
sexually
harassed right now? Is this what it feels?
I need to go.
But among them,
sorry, I had 30 minutes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
See ya.
Banger after fucking banger, bro.
And that's what I gotta say about uwuaboo. We're gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna say shout out Breezy again because, dude, he has been fucking deceiving the hell out of her for months, just like lying everywhere. And I've got so much of it on video, but like so much of it has just happened behind closed doors because he is a fucking legend for doing that. He is a fucking legend. So I just wanted to commend the fuck out of him for deceiving her for like this fucking long and keeping it up for this long. Not many people keep a bit running for this long. But with that, we're gonna get to the next person that's also in the midpoint of the victim to victimizer pipeline.
Every time you get a chance.
Oh my gosh, hey everybody. Hopefully everybody's been having a great adorkable day. I just got off of work. Well, Jaden just got off of work. But like, you know, I'm just like so excited to go home and just like be all cute and adorable and everything. Like, hopefully everybody's having a great adorkable day. So see ya.
AdorkableMousie. Also known as Justin. Justin is a 37-year-old from Florida, a virgin who lives at home with his parents. They pretend to be a Minnie Mouse style character online with this like really annoying adorkable typing quirk, and you'll see exactly what I mean. They are an admitted pedophile. And here's where that typing quirk comes in. In response to someone saying, "You are a pedophile," they say, yes, that's what the, means, but, it's only, attraction, and, I don't, unadorkably, act on it with, bodily minors, Okay, they say that, and meanwhile, their age of attraction is 8 to 13. I'm just gonna come out the gate swinging here. Justin, AdorkableMousie, is faking dissociative identity disorder. Justin is faking DID. You'll see through their posts on their socials, Discord servers, and whatever, they pretend to, like, you know, not only be this, like, Minnie Mouse style character, but they also pretend to, like, hop between characters. You know, oh, one moment they're this character, and the next moment they're this character, and, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
So, like, gosh, Jay just got off of work, and now I'm just, like, sitting in the car. And at the side of the front, just sit in the car, like, I don't know how to drive. I'm just gonna sit here until Jay just decides to front again. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's fake DID. And how am I saying that? How am I saying that with such certainty? Here's an old post on the Toontown forums from like 2020 where you can see Justin was testing out this new, you know, quote unquote, like, character. They come onto the page just, like, saying, you know, acting in this character's, you know, always saying, like, oh, I'm Melody Mousy, I'm here to clean everything up, some weird, crazy stuff's going on. And then someone who is familiar with their posts replies, is confused, like, what the f***? And Justin replied back saying, lol, I'm still the same person posting here IRL, but just felt like role-playing the name change from my previous name to my current name, since it's the name of my boy mouse tune. Sorry if you were confused. Is that how DID works? Really? You could just, like, flip it on and off like a light switch conveniently when someone else is confused? No, it isn't. It's obviously bullshit. And not only is it obviously bullshit, but he calls it role-playing. He calls it role-playing. He calls it role-playing. Oh, yeah, further posts from their old, you know, TTR forums, Toontown Rewritten, I think it was, forums. This is from, like, their old bio where they say that they love to, like, roleplay as different characters. You know, I wonder.
But gone fishing, that isn't enough to invalidate their identity, you say? Don't worry, I got you.
Here's a post where they wish they had actual symptoms of DID, like amnesia, so that they could get diagnosed, because, you know, they don't actually have those symptoms. 2 years later, though, they would then change the record and claim that they actually had amnesia all along. Justin repeatedly refers to their main system as being quote-unquote endogenic, a term which means that it originated with no clear trauma, which is widely agreed as scientifically impossible under the prevailing theory of structural dissociation of the personality. Not to mention, but DID is often misdiagnosed and requires thorough testing in order for an actual diagnosis. Justin claims, though, that they just quote-unquote realized they had it one day, coincidentally around the exact same time that DID was being glamorized in an online trend where people were faking the disorder to appear quirky. Okay, but maybe Justin is just patient zero. Like, they're literally patient zero, a 32-year-old who suddenly, without any trauma, developed symptoms of DID. You say, for some stupid reason. Okay, well then why do they also claim back in 2023 to have a second subsystem consisting primarily of My Little Pony characters, 4 of which were Justin's underage child girlfriends? This subsystem seemingly just vanished over time, as Justin has neglected to mention this, cute dorky information since then.
We kind of have a bit of a problem here, because it's like, alright, it's pretty obvious you're faking DID, but like, if you aren't, then why are you dating 4 children?
Oh, yeah, and then here is the deeper thing. The deeper thing underneath that is that Justin's DID, fake bullshit DID, is just a fetish. It's a fetish. It's an extension of a fetish. Justin uses, you know, DID, quote-unquote, to roleplay a sexually abusive relationship between a mother and her daughter. This is where it's gonna get kind of vile, so... Tee-hee, I do adorkably get us when I adorkably remind the, cute dorky adults that, I have...
Celebrate the first
with that cute dork mousy kid and how morally degrading it is and how perverted they are. And then here's another message where they are pretending to hop between these, you know, various personalities of the mother, quote unquote, and her quote unquote daughter who's being abused, right? Gosh, mommy, am I not enough for cute little adorkable you? Gosh, you're such a pedo perv. All the ahs make this so fucking confusing to read. Justin then pretends to hop to the mother persona and says, I got enough love to share with you and all plushies, Mousie. I mean, you don't
Celebrate the first glorious...
but I still love you all the same. They use this DID to also, you know, put this minor character in, like, sexual scenarios. I don't want to read. I give up on the English language. Dude. We're done. We're done. English is over. Pack it up. You may be curious, despite me being like a pretty long time standing trans rights advocate, why I am not referring to Justin as a woman. Comes down to some bullet points.
Number one, their identity is just a fetish. Like, just flat out, it is something they use to engage with their sexual fantasies of a mother preying on her daughter. And number two, Justin themselves deemed their behavior as role-playing, then updating it later on claiming they were trans and had DID, neither of which appear to actually be true. As I see it, it is harmful to the trans community overall to conflate someone who is engaging with their fetish as being trans. This is not what being trans looks like. And that isn't me saying I'm like the moral arbiter on who is and isn't trans. My position is just informed by the trans people whom I've actually been friends with, and I can confidently tell you they'd make the same decision in regards to Justin. Justin is literally taking these stereotypes used by people like Matt Walsh and personifying them. Like, literally imagine everything that Matt Walsh says that trans people are doing, except Justin is actually doing it. They are an admitted pedophile who claims to not only be transgender, but trans age, specifically to roleplay CSA. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, then let me know in the comments, because I could always use some feedback.
I hope that makes a good deal of sense, but maybe it doesn't. What I'm saying is that, like, Justin is not actually... This is some bullshit. This is not actually trans. It's role-playing. And then here's the interesting thing, and it's why I included Justin in this part. Justin actually used to be anti-pedophilia. Yeah. He actually used to be anti-pedophilia. Here's an old Toontown rewritten forum post in 2020 where he gets on someone for being a pedo sympathizer, and also here's an old D&I list from 2022 where pedos are listed under people that shouldn't interact. What changed? What changed? Because something changed. Something changed. Clearly something changed. It's unclear to me what changed because I don't really care to go through like a whole tapestry of history regarding Justin, but something did. Eventually, over time, over the course of several years, a switch got flicked where pedophilia is not only okay, but it's what he actually identifies with. He considers himself to be a pedophile. And my final kind of question to segue out of this is Justin claims that this is all fiction, right? Claims that this is all fiction, that it doesn't really, impact, his decisions in the real world and whatnot. And I want to make an argument pretty much for why that kind of person is still dangerous in the real world. To push this to the kind of extreme, to show the extreme position here, we're going to go to the final part of this video, which is the end of the pipeline. The end of the pipeline. The end of the victim to victimizer pipeline. Full circle. The people that are just out and about, the child molesters. The child molesters, like the band, like the band. And we're going to push this fiction, it's all fiction. We're going to put that really to the test with this next person.
You will always be the only one for me. Stranger, you're in danger when you're making eyes at me.
Sssus is a 23-year-old pedophile from the East Coast who has next to no life outside of pedi. He is homeless, living out of his car, working as a salesman at a fucking mattress store, a wannabe IT guy in his spare time, with an extensive passion for the of infants. He has a lengthy history on pedi, spanning multiple instances being top and his current one. On his current one, the one I just mentioned, he has gained a wealth of followers, which is over 600 at the time I wrote this, by posting about infants. And this shit is really bad. Like, this shit is really bad even for me. In all the years I've spent. So much of this is just redacted, and I mean like actually redacted on paper, not just like I'm gonna bleep it out. Like, I redacted it in the document because it's just vile.
Viewer discretion is advised.
The younger the... Jesus, I don't want to start with that one. I need a baby to... Dude, Jesus, man, I really don't want to do this. I wonder if babies can survive a... If it was... to... Like... Hey you, yes, you. Kill me, bro. I personally think is not only the morally correct thing to do, but an obligation. I just want to clarify for anybody clipping this out of context, I am reading something. These are not my statements. Jesus Christ. Remember, little girls, especially newborns, if they aren't, you aren't doing it right. All I'm saying is babies are just made for... Like, they serve no purpose. Why not give them one? Those were all comments made by Sssus. Pretty sure all of them were from this year as well. Now, despite that, Sssus actually claims to have very strong ethics and morals. He claims that he would never actually hurt a child IRL, and that these are, this is all just fantasy. Once again, this is all just fantasy. I have zero intent or interest in actually doing anything I post about IRL. I could not bring myself to hurt a child or baby. My posts hurt no one, and several times I have clarified there is nothing IRL that I would ever condone. See what I mean now? See what I mean now when I say pushing it to the extreme here? Yeah, so the thing is, though, the funny thing about that is that Sssus does want to hurt kids IRL, like, per his own confessions. Seeing an infant immediately makes me think about it. He said, "Are there any women who work in a nursery that is looking for a boyfriend? No reason, definitely not so we can the newborns together." Here comes one that I really want to emphasize above everything else is a fucking quote. I am reading off of a script. It is not my statement. Jesus Christ. I just saw a 10-year-old walk by with one of the fattest asses in God. Kids are so... Some came in with her dad, and I want to take a picture, but I can't. Okay, Jesus, man. Need to volunteer at a daycare several times, earn trust, then when the actual worker calls out sick, I'm all alone with them, ... Pretty fucking bad. Oh yeah, Sssus has also fetishized a tragic murder from 1977, where 3 little girls were killed at a Girl Scout camp. He wrote an elaborate fan fiction about the event. This was a post captioning a graphic description of the killings that took place, saying, "This is why the news is the perfect place to go if you want to your brains out." Under the aforementioned post, he said, I have always believed, he says, children exist to be and by adults. Really, what other purpose do they serve? Yeah, man, I'm sure it's all fucking fiction, and you got some really strong morals and fucking solid principles. Literally, like, human garbage. Just want to make sure that's absolutely, like, crystal clear. Human garbage, the human equivalent of bile. This just in, though. This just in. Can we get my eyes visible here for this one? Despite all of this, Sssus has actually claimed that it is me, not him, that is a pedophile. I am being fucking serious. He said, I have no doubt he has actual CP on his computer. It takes a special kind of person to want to sift through a bunch of pedophile thoughts floating around pedi, and for them to be interested enough to dig deeper into that section of the internet. Okay, again, we're seeing the same thing that we saw with Ray. Because I am well-researched, that must mean I am a pedophile. Flawless logic. Imagine being a drama channel that has been called out for grooming children, something that even people on Pedi haven't done. Not for real, how is some dude that has been outed as a pedophile trying to make videos about Pedi like, dog, you are making yourself look worse, okay? So, I love learning things about me that I never knew. Apparently, I'm a pedophile, and apparently this is a well-established fact, says Mr. Pedophile Baby. Watching the controversy vids, Gone Fishing has zero credibility and clickbait thumbnails / titles. That's a new one. Needless to say, Pedi is fine because he is also a pedophile. Pack it up, everybody. They fucking got me. How else would he be able to dig so deep to find out the largest accounts and know their names to search them up? Bro is actively searching for pedophile posts and even says every Roblox player he comes across is a pedo. Bro knows what pedos act like because he is one. He has grooming allegations on him and and everyone thinks he's a joke. Oh, dude, I'm just getting fucking torn apart over here by the baby ref. Dude, ref, get the ref on this. Let him breathe. Okay, and then he replies to someone else suggesting that it's suspicious that I have a Matrix account, saying, what else is on there? I'll tell you what else is on there. Nothing. I created the account to fucking talk to you guys. What do you think I have the account for? I just don't think he fully understands that being within Pedi to an extent of knowing people by name to be able to search them up is proof of frequenting an instance. Like, how did he know what to search for and who was the most popular? Gee, I fucking wonder. How did Gone Fishing do good fucking research? How is he well researched? This is witchcraft. Someone replies, context for the last bit? Did he groom someone? And then here's what Sssus says in response. As far as I know from one of his exposed videos way down on the search, he got called out for grooming a kid on Roblox or something? Which makes sense considering he calls out Roblox quote-unquote pedos a lot. If it is anything to go off of and is accurate, then he copes by making drama videos of communities he's active in, which means he's active on Pedi. Mic fucking drop, dude. That is just absolutely foolproof logic. Worth highlighting as well, Sssus is a massive fucking loser who doesn't know how to talk to women, and he has suggested that this might even be the reason why he wants to rape children. I keep talking about uwuaboo baby, but like I only genuinely get happy and warm when I talk about cuddles, and then I realize, man, my exes were such and I've never just genuinely felt affection. And I've been repeatedly abused and just want the gentle touch and cuddles humans require. Okay, I guess what I'll just kind of close by saying is, to all my haters, this guy's on your side. So if you want to come over to my side, I think everybody would completely understand. That was a little quote from Video Game Donkey right there. That was a donkey quote. I quoted Donkey.
Seattle World Fair.
Nicholas is a 24-year-old pedophile zoophile illustrator from Washington. He's from Washington. He's from my fucking state. He lives away from me. He likes incest. He's admitted to incestuous acts with his, with his brother? Yeah. Oh, and he's called fwucky, by the way. Fwucky. Just get that one in your... He is most well known for making pro-pedophilia zines, which are just like pamphlets that he allegedly handed out at a playground in Seattle, of which I've seen people speculate was Cal Anderson Park, but I don't know what other speculation they would have for that other than the fact that Cal Anderson Park is in like the queer part of Seattle. So I don't know, because as far as I know, there's nothing else indicating that he went to Cal Anderson Park specifically. Oh yeah, and he claimed that he handed out these pamphlets, these zines, with hyperpop artist Forlung. Isn't that fun? Which is a lie. I just want to stamp that out right now. That was a lie. I've made a new zine. I will be handing it out at the Seattle Playground today with Forlung. Please enjoy and like, rate, subscribe. Remember, anyone can change the world, even you. And then after the paraphiles found this post and posted it, he then came back and said, "Someone showed me the news earlier and we are so cooked, lol. There is truly nothing more stupid on this planet than a teenager with a phone. I didn't realize Forlung was this big of a deal. I thought she was just some random Zumerian musician these freaks kept accusing me of knowing, so I made a little joke. These people are genuine monsters, lol. I hear they're eating the cats and dogs in Ohio, guys. Definitely 100% real thing happening." This motherfucker's so insufferable. On the actual zines, there are 3 of them in total. Pedopunk, Compliance Punk, and then pamphlet number 3 is just called 2, which is it's Pedopunk 2. Now, I would rather go over these in a separate segment because they're like very visual things, and let's just mix it up a little bit, you know, so do that.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Why do I torture myself like this? This is gonna be the recording that I dissect fwucky's infamous 3 different pamphlets. We're gonna start with the first one, Pedo Punk, and I'm gonna read this to you like a fucking bedtime story. Is what we're gonna do. I love kids. I love youth. I love the power and the beauty inside every young mind, the spirit, the desire for freedom. They dare to dream of the impossible, of wondrous worlds completely unlike this one. You hate kids? ? You find them quote unquote annoying? Children should be seen, not heard, huh? You. How could you hate something so beautiful? How can you hate someone so fucking helpless, broken, beaten, enslaved, someone who can't even cry out for help because they don't know how to, because no one will listen? Let's get back to this page though, because let's not get ahead of ourselves, because we got some interesting illustrations here that I've obviously covered with big black squares. You're so cute is the text, and it says, kids are so I don't want to read that. You can read it yourself and I think the first time I was when I was 8 or 9 and he was 7. He was so... Okay, Jesus Christ.
Screaming Northwest.
I wonder if he remembers it. I'm sorry, or am I? ? Whenever we were alone, we'd... to each other. Everything feels so blurry now. Nothing feels as warm as when I was a kid, exploring freely, fully, happily. You'd rather see us strung up like chickens, crucified, hollowed out, mocked, destroyed. You want to crush us into tiny fragments, so small that no one will ever see or hear them over the roar of your self-applause and the slurping of your tongue on your oppressor's boot. Who exactly is who's my oppressor's boot that I'm like, yes, I hate pedophiles, but also I love being oppressed by my nebulous oppressor as an Italian man, you know? Well, you lost before you even started. You will never make me as hollow as you are. You will never. Oh, and then the text goes on, you will never get what's inside me. You fucking lose. You. You will never experience the endless, insatiable, heart-rending love. And then love printed over and over and over again like a schizoid. And then even if you got me, you won't get it. Okay. And obviously we have some joyous, really disgusting depictions here that I've obviously covered. Okay, then this is the back. It just says you're beautiful and I love you. Thanks, man. Let's get to the next one. So this one is lesser known, but this is his second ever zine. This one is called Compliance Punk, and the best way I can describe this is like a 15-year-old's understanding of nonconformity. So as you can see, we just have like some just simple, it's supposed to be like the Bible, obviously. Oh, very evocative imagery we've got, fwucky. Let's see. Okay, so then we have some more depictions of religiosity, crosses and whatnot, and then I am normal, I am not bad. I go to work and contribute to society. I am normal. I am not bad. I go to work and pay. And it just continues. It's like we live in a society. Level of like shallow critiques. And then the text gets more bold and it starts getting messed up. And I am not bad. I do not have impure thoughts. I do not I do not have taboo desires. I am normal. I am not bad. Everything I like is normal. Everything I like is normal. Everything I look at is normal. I am normal. I am not bad. I respect the law. I conform. I am valuable. I am a member of society. I am normal. I am not bad. I do not have impure thoughts. I am all the hypocrisies of man, the evil that men do. Oh no, that is so f***ing powerful imagery, fwucky, holy f***ing shit. Did you catch that? You guys may not have catched that, but like, it ends with I am worth, and you go to the next one? Oh, bro freaking died. This is f***ing powerful imagery right here. This is the voice of a generation right here. Oh yeah, the back cover is him hanging from the cross. That is just like Pink Floyd levels of societal critique right there. So that one is just a little stupid. We're now gonna move on to the final one, which is this is the one that he allegedly handed out at the Seattle playground. This one is just called 2, but it's pedo punk 2. Okay, so this is like actual, now we're getting into some actual stories telling, children's book type shit. Wow, I love queer art so much. There are so many cool artists with cool stories, so many signs, comics, so much to look at and buy. Queer consumerism has never been better. Hey, I could make my own zine. I can write about my own queer sexual experiences and share them with my friends and other queers. What a great idea. It's all about freedom of expression, baby. Oh, as you can see, he's also wearing a I Love CP shirt. Yes, actually. And you can tell that it's an I Love CP shirt because look at the way that curves there and look at the way that arches there. Roscoe works hard and creates a zine of his own, creatively expressing the highs and lows of being a gay cub lover in modern society. It's cute and fun and thought-provoking. Roscoe shares his zine with all of his friends, family, and even animals on the street. He visits playgrounds and gives zines to unsuspecting, innocent, cute children in all caps. They love the cute art and they resonate with the heartfelt message of love and happiness. Yeah, and then this next one I had to censor because it's art of the child. So, but let's read this one. Roscoe's zine is really popular. More and more animals come out as pedophiles, zoophiles, and cub lovers, sharing their queer experiences with the world. Self-grooming becomes popular among young cubs seeking attention from pop-you-pedos. F***ing pop-you-pedos. Roscoe is really happy and proud of himself. Art is powerful. Okay, world attitudes began to shift. The age of consent is abolished worldwide. The world order crumbles. A new one rises. Y'all are not ready for this one. The Pacific Northwest, PNW, becomes the seat of the pedophile New World Order. And then here's the back. Yeah, so he just closes to say the pedophile New World Order, and then whatever the f*** this is. I don't really care to decipher this. There's probably something here, but I'm not gonna look at.
Yeah. So that's some shit right there. Pedophile New World Order. Oh, he also had an old website called fwucky. Which is thankfully down, but I did find it on Internet Archive. I would not recommend going there. Do not do it. I'm serious. Like, seriously. It contained like just under 200 pieces of his artwork, which was like disgusting NSFW involving animals, children, and child animals. The final thing I'll say on fwucky is that he was reported to the King County Police Department by one of the people behind the pedophiles in November of last year when the event happened. King County PD was like horrible with this. They didn't even write them back or address the fucking like complaint until 2.5 months fucking later in February. Didn't contact the person at all who made the report for 2.5 months, then coming back and touching base with them and asking some questions about it. Yeah, they suck. And Mr. fwucky, Mr. Pedophile New World Order, he's just out there. He's just roaming free in my county, in my fucking state, in my area. He's just out there. He actually works. He works at a... And he's just like out there. Okay, very awesome. Sex criminal who hands out pedophile zines to children, just like working in the... Anyways, yeah, that guy sucks. Let's move on to the next pedophile at the end of the pipeline. This one I have a lot of words for.
One of the reasons that I want to tell my story is because I just believe in the power of, honesty, and that's one of the things that's actually going to bring about change for, maps for BLs and GLs, that we need to be out there, and as scary as it might be, our voices and a range of voices, people like me that have had legal trouble, and then people that have managed to have the willpower and discipline to stay clean. We need all of our voices out there to show that we're not a monolith.
We do.
We're all different.
This is Fragment. Fragment is a 30-year-old Aussie who moved to Japan, likely because of the age of consent laws. He used to be a teacher. Now he's a convicted pedophile because he assaulted two 13-year-old boys, gave them heroin, and now he's on pedi. He's become like a kind of pedophile activist. Pedophile activist, that's how I would characterize Fraggy. Yeah, so he has claimed that the two 13-year-olds that he assaulted were consenting, and in court, actually, his lawyer presented the argument that because the kids were closer to the door, they had the opportunity to leave, and therefore, by not leaving, wanted it to happen. Fragment has a wife and a family. He has a 4-year-old daughter. He told me in conversation that he doesn't actually love his wife. He called it an arranged marriage on behalf of himself.
Like, you either have this kind of compromised relationship with someone you're not really that attracted to, but hey, at least I'll be able to make a family and that'll be worth it. And that's kind of what I thought when I married her. And I thought that I'd be able to...
Wait, so it wasn't like as like dream come true as if it would have been like with a child.
Yeah, I thought I'm never going to be happy. I'm never going to be able to have the relationship I want with an adolescent boy. But when I'm 80, if I can have grandkids around me when I'm on my deathbed, like at least that's something. So I kind of went into it with almost like an arranged marriage for myself kind of attitude.
And of his 4-year-old daughter, well, he told me in conversation that he would rather have his 4-year-old daughter be with a pedophile than someone her own age. That's what he said. He told me that. As a father, he admitted that. He said that to me in conversation.
Obviously, I couldn't promote this because it would be illegal, but thinking about my daughter when she's in her teen years, getting with a peer who's just interested in getting himself off, versus being with a more mature, experienced partner that would actually know how to make her feel better. To me, that would actually be my preferred relationship for her.
I'm sorry to butt in here, but I just can't let this go. I cannot get over how creepy of a way this is to talk about your own daughter as a father. And I am sincerely sorry to his daughter if you are seeing this in the next, decade or two. Can make her feel better. No.
He owns a website / forum called MapUnion. What is it called? It is called mapunion.org. And on this site, you could see him playing the victim constantly on here and on pedi as well. Let me just read you some of these because they're just fantastic. I might be being led to the gas chamber, but why not spit in their eye and stomp on their foot on the way to my inevitable end? I don't know if the kind of activism I'm doing is most effective or even effective at all, but it's what I know and what I'm good at. Being led to the gas chamber. Here he is posting a conversation he had with ChatGPT where he's like, dude, ChatGPT has mad fucking aura. This chills, bro. What ChatGPT said? Let me tell you what ChatGPT said. GPT has some great one-liners, quote unquote. Even if courts won't listen now, history might. Holy Fragment, you are the fucking Rosa Parks of the fucking of pedophiles. He's doing the Montgomery fucking bus boycott for pedophiles. He's spitting in their eye. He's stomping on their fucking foot. He is, he is him. He's Timothy. He's also starved for attention. I guess I'm kind of feeding into him with this one. He's done multiple interviews, not only with me, but with various individuals. One of them being Mr. Girl. Mr. Girl. You know Mr. Girl, the cuties review guy? The I'm a pedophile, you goddamn right, I'm a literal pedophile guy? Yeah, that guy.
Would you call yourself an offending pedophile?
He's also done an interview with his mom where his mom like defends him with heartless disregard for his victims. It's disgusting.
This is just a little bit of it, but like, here's a clip where his mom laughs at the idea that his victims would be suicidal, and then tries to redirect the conversation to like, oh, how bad Fragment's gonna suffer because he's the perpetrator, oh no.
And a family member said, but what about these poor boys? People kill themselves when things like this happen to them. And I just kind of felt like that was a very extreme reaction, because my reaction could be, well, how many people that have an attraction like my son Fragment does kill themselves?
Like I said, he also talks to ChatGPT in his spare time. That's the thing you do when you don't have any friends. He claims to have radicalized ChatGPT to be pro-pedophilia, so, you know, he's really changing the world one fucking step at a time. Oh yeah, and he also betrayed everybody. Like, his thirst for attention, it actually got him into conflict with everybody else on Pedi, who was like, don't do an interview with this gone fishing guy, okay? He's bad news, this gone fishing guy. And then he was like, look, guys, come on, I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. I need the attention. We had the conversation, and I will air you some of the stuff from that conversation right the fuck now.
Yo, it's me, Fisher. Yeah, look at me. I'm on the phone. I'm actually a 5-year-old version of myself. So that's actually me, and I'm literally on the phone with Fragment right now. Anyways, this is my call with him. This call took place on, what was it, April 15th? Yeah, April 15th. So here he doesn't answer why he moved to Japan.
Why'd you move to Japan?
Oh, a few different reasons.
When asked if it was the age of consent, he then diverts the topic before answering that, you know, even if it was, it's kind of like, you know, black people fleeing the South during segregation.
It didn't have anything to do with the age of consent?
Like, no, but even if it did, that's kind of like a gay guy moving from the Middle East to the US because they think the laws are more just there.
Like Harriet Tubman trying to, like, flee the South?
Yeah, well, if you see the laws as unjust, then it is a still civil rights movement, right?
He then proposes a quote-unquote gradated idea of the age of consent where I guess one would, as they mature, unlock quote-unquote more sexual activity. Instead of having it as a black and white line there, I think that a kind of more transition through the adolescent years between the ages of, say, 12 and 15, there should be a bit more gradation there.
So what,
okay.
Like, we allow, like, kids that are, you know, by age level, we, you know, allow certain sexual activities, like, you know, 13, they can do 14, they can do, and then we kind of like level it up
not
from
so much
there.
by activity.
Then, when obviously confronted on how this is a stupid f***ing idea, he then tries to shift the topic to, okay, but like, imagine there's some percent of minors that can consent.
What percent of people need to be able to consent to you in order to draw the line there?
What percent of people? I would say like all of them. 100.
Okay.
Even if, say, 10% of those people are with a teenager that can consent.
That to me is a pretty big injustice.
Well, I guess I just don't see eye to eye on the, you know, oh, well, maybe a minority of them, you know, could consent. I don't think minors can
You think
consent.
it's literally zero?
Zero. Sorry, like, there are some things in this world that are just like zero. 0 babies can do algebra. 0 dogs can speak English. And 0 minors under the age of majority can consent. This is just a fact. Upon realizing he doesn't have a sound argument, though, and man, I've done a lot of debates, but like, I never heard this one. This is a crazy trick, y'all. You debate might want to get this one down. Upon being confronted with the fact that he doesn't have a sound argument, he then says that what if we jump, 50 to 100 years into the future, and there's like some groundbreaking, pedo proof, right? That comes out, some crazy science that comes out. Well, wouldn't I look pretty stupid for opposing pedophilia then? That's his argument. That's actually his argument.
Except that, say, in 50, 100 years' time, my side wins out. What are they going to look back on this era and say, oh, you know, they were saying that adolescents couldn't consent, you know, how backwards, how close-minded.
Given this hypothetical, he then goes out and proposes that there's some extreme injustice here taking place.
If they could consent, and I'm facing prison for that, then that's an extreme injustice. So, whichever side is right on this, it's a pretty fucking big deal.
He's just trying to erect a debate where there isn't one. Yeah. He then sets up his other amazing bulletproof argument, because he's obviously swamped with the fact that minors cannot consent. He then presents an argument by which he uses to discredit, like, all the facts. It's an argument that he uses to just
shoo away every single piece of factual information, literally ever, by saying that the studies don't differentiate between quote-unquote willing and unwilling participants. Willing and unwilling participants.
One thing that I looked for and looked for and looked for and couldn't find was evidence that separates willing and unwilling encounters. That research, as far as I found, doesn't exist.
He wants to differentiate between minors who were raped by an adult that supposedly did it willingly and unwillingly. The obvious problem there is that a minor definitionally cannot engage in that fucking willingly. Using this absurd line of logic, though, he can then say, oh, well, maybe if your study included little 11-year-olds who wanted to be raped and said it was okay, maybe I'd listen, but if not, then it's just not good enough. So.
Okay, so where's evidence that these are causing the same harm? Oh, look, based on these aggregates where they're analysed together. That's what I mean, there's no evidence, and that's what I mean is contextualise the word willing. There's no evidence showing a willing minor having negative outcomes.
So here's where he says that he thinks that across the board, in every single situation, an adult being with a child is better than a child being with a child. Yes, actually.
Being an adult that has engaged sexually with minors, like I've seen how much my focus is on them and my caring is focused on them in a way that it wouldn't have been.
Well, okay, so you're saying like largely adults being intimate with minors is better than minors being intimate with minors.
Yeah, in terms of care and responsibility, I'd say yes.
As long as it's quote-unquote ethical by his standards. You gotta be one of those good pedophiles in order to pull this one off. Here's something you're gonna see more of. Fragment showing his lack of empathy for his victims. He envisions that not only did his victims actually want it to happen, but that they also didn't want him to face punishment for doing it. He also claims that they were being forced to feel like victims.
Okay, so one of them, when it first came out with his parents, he was, crying to his mum, no, don't do anything about this, like, I don't want you to do anything, like, he's got a family. The other one was basically just embarrassed by the whole thing and just wanted to get it over and done with as soon as possible. Our current system kind of forces people to feel like victims, even like forcing victimhood onto people is...
The implication here is that victimhood was forced upon these boys, they don't actually feel like they're victims?
From the court documents I've read, yeah, I'd say that's fairly accurate.
When asked how this sexual encounter occurred, he then just zigzags about his own personal life in a way that I can only really describe as, oh, well, I guess I was just too gosh darn nice. Yep, throw the handcuffs on me, I guess, yeah. My weakness was being too nice and open, that's why I off those two fucking middle schoolers.
How did this sexual encounter, like, what was the instigation here?
So basically, I let myself not have boundaries with the students and basically felt like one of them. My biggest thing as a teacher was trying as much as I could to empower the students and to get them to be the ones making the decision.
Oh yeah, and then he's also like, but the other kids were doing things with each other, so like, really, it was all fair game. And then when he realizes that's a stupid fucking argument, he then just like, okay, well actually I'm bipolar.
So I'm just assuming here that you were the one that made the proposition?
Yeah, but it's in an environment where a lot of these boys are like doing stuff like that with each other.
I mean, part of the reason I acted like that was because I was bipolar manic.
He gets continually offended when I use terms like assault, preyed on, or even little boys. He actually has a problem with at one point.
Well, I mean, also you were preying on them, so...
Okay, but now you're going into like language that's, implicitly supporting your position.
You assaulted two, 13-year-old boy.
Assaulting? Come on. What's the definition of assault?
He then proposes his pie-in-the-sky idea that, he should be spared. He wants to just have his cake and eat it too. He wants a world where he can the child and get away with it.
What does the minor do who wants someone to stop but doesn't want them to go to prison? And I think that's actually quite common. I just think you need to look at the stories of a lot of survivors that are just as traumatized by the court system as they are by the actual sex that
Yeah, man, I'm so sure that's what happened. I'm so sure that's what happened with those boys. I'm so sure they were like, you know what? I don't want my teacher to go to prison for me off. I just wanted to add this in post because my girlfriend made an amazing point when watching me edit this. A big reason why a lot of victims will even say, no, I don't want this person to go to prison. No, I don't want them to do this is because they have been groomed by them. Like, for example, she brought up an example of like a child whose parents are being arrested for domestic violence. That child would obviously say like, no, I don't want my mommy or daddy to be arrested or whatnot. Like, that's because they've been groomed by them. That's because they've been abused by them and they've been tricked into a false sense of comfort with them. So anyways, up next, there's this amazing clip where he's like, where's your data when I tell him that children don't like being
I am right by the data. That doesn't matter because...
Which data? Which data you're referring to? Whose study?
Okay. I don't, like I said, I don't really come into discussions like this, like, oh yeah, here's a database of children, raising their hands and saying, I was actually very uncomfortable when this man sexually assaulted me.
You're saying, oh, the data says, and then you haven't actually read the data.
And then for a grand finale near the end, he pulls this whole, like, disgusting victimhood narrative together just to its logical conclusion. Just kind of scoffing at the idea that his victims are traumatized for life by what he did to them. I'm not kidding. Like, he actually laughs about it under his breath and then says that he's actually the victim because of the justice system.
They're gonna fucking live with that into their adult lives, and it's gonna impact them for the rest of their lives. Then you'll go free, and those boys are not they don't get to go free like that. They are gonna be kind of forever confined by, you know, and you can kind of scoff at that, but it's just the reality of it.
The idea that there's nothing traumatic for, you know, perpetrators is,
it's not that there's nothing traumatic for perpetrators, but you're the perpetrator. You did it. You did it. You can be like, okay, well, you're gonna suffer psychological long-term consequences, but like really, you know, deal with it. You did that.
I had enough of this guy. I say, whoop, 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 and I walk off the fucking screen.
Fraggy time over. We're going on to brighter pastures.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Here's a fun one. They're all fun ones. That's the spoiler. That's the real lesson here. Let me tell you the legend of PochiRaccoon. Not Pochi the Raccoon. PochiRaccoon. Christopher is a 37-year-old convicted pedophile, level 3 sex offender. Did you know that the sex offender registry has levels? Yeah, it has levels, and he's ranked at a level 3, which is the fucking highest. It's like the rate of reoffending or risk of reoffending. He's also a plushophile, zoo sadist, and frequent pedi user from his hometown of New York. I shouldn't need to say this, but he's unemployed living with his parents. This is what he looks like. And the beautiful thing is that I can just show you this because this is actually photos from the National Sex Offender Registry. Here's the thing about Chris, Mr. Completely unreported. Unreported. I don't mean underreported. I mean unreported. Not a single video has ever been made about him on any platform at the time I am fucking saying this. He's not even been mentioned as far as I know. He's had about 2 to 3 posts about him made on Kiwi Farms, and they were from roughly 7 years ago. The silence around his name is shocking because of what I'm about to get into. Pochi has been a baby for over 20 fucking years, since before I was even born. Since before I was even born, dude. And he had actually previously denounced pedophilia in an apology to the baby fur community in 2005. Once again, I apologize for all my actions that were inappropriate, and I will never do this again. If I do wear a diaper, I will not wet it unless I am alone. I apologize to all baby furs and want to make it clear that most of them aren't as immature as I was being. I am sorry. I hope I can fix my reputation amongst everyone. I am extremely sorry to anyone I have bothered directly or indirectly. I also apologize to the baby fur community, as I may have brought out the things people find bad about baby furs. Baby furs are not pedophiles, and we do not shit ourselves and stay around other people. I have never done that and will never do that. I really didn't think the peeing was that big of a deal. I knew leaking is, but that was unintentional. If I ever even think something might even slightly be a problem, I will not do it. I hope I can be given the chance to show you that this experience has made me notice that I am an asshole and I am going to fix it, because I really don't want to lose my best friends. Well, I think that aged quite well, Chrissy. I think that aged quite well. Yeah, he was heavily disliked in the baby fur community for the actions outlined there. Yeah, so 9 years later, in 2014, the FBI carried out a search warrant on his house, following a lengthy investigation into a message board he was a part of known as H2TC, which was short for They seized his computer, finding that he had used Tor to access chat rooms and message boards where he downloaded and posted child as well as posted about his extensive desire to infants. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison and a lifetime on the sex offender registry. During his incarceration, he sued the prison system for not letting him have stuffed animals in his cell. I am fucking serious. He said that in order for him to meditate, this is a direct quote, in order for him to meditate on enlightenment, he must do so in the presence of at least 2 stuffed animals, and that he has a quote-unquote strong spiritual connection with the spiritual essence of stuffed animals. After his release in 2021, he took a case up with the New York Supreme Court to lower his designation on the sex offender registry. They obviously fucking shut that shit down. And since then, unknown to the public, Pochi has joined Pedi to continue the very same activity that got him in jail in 2014. He's currently registered on at least 5 different instances, those instances being .net, a really long one that is and .baby. Jesus Christ. Here's some of his posts on Pedi. Guys talking about sharing live zoo sadism, which is just like animal cruelty and like animal corpses and whatnot. Guys talking about doing meth while, you know, to the idea of in like just vulgar and disgusting ways, you know. Sounds like he's fucking reoffending, you know? Sounds like he's reoffending because this is the exact thing that was detailed in the complaint against him in 2014 in People v. in USA v. in 2014. That was the case. So what did I do? I'm a good citizen. I followed what I was supposed to do. How do I report a crime that's outside of the state in which I reside? Well, let's go to the U.S. government website for that. To file a police report, search online for the local law enforcement agency's contact information where the crime occurred. Most local law enforcement agencies accept anonymous tips or crime reports online or by phone. To learn more, contact your local police department. Okay, pretty simple. Contact the police station where the crime occurred. So I gave County PD a fucking ring, you know, because they're the ones that have him on their sex offender registry. Upon calling, the 911 operator lied to me. She lied to me. She lied to me in a pretty much just like fuck off way. She told me that if I wanted to report it, get this, I would have to report it to Washington, to King County PD, who would then somehow send the fucking report across the country to county, and then they would do something.
So since you're thinking that this is happening, and if you have the proof, you would need to make the report in Washington, and then they would send it over to us.
Okay.
Because we can't just send them over to where he is and accuse him of doing anything. Just they need to have actual, like, a report from it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you. I can do that.
That's why I quoted from the U.S. government website, because it's just horse shit. It's not true. And I was flabbergasted by it, and I just hung up afterwards, because, like, I don't want to inherently believe that I'm being lied to, but I soon found out afterwards that I was. I just was. What she told me was not true. So, I don't really have anything else to say. This is a level 3 sex offender who is reoffending on Pedi. He is on Pedi just fucking, you know, shooting up fucking meth and, you know, talking about raping babies and wanting to, you know, stab girls in the fucking chest in the real world. And I tried to report it, and the police are like, fuck you.
What are you supposed to do now? Like, call them again?
Complain about it on the internet.
No. Good.
The strongest motherfucking option. Complain about it on the fucking internet.
That's it. That's the segment. That's what I have to say. Fuck the county PD. Fuck every fucking police station in the fucking country. Because they are fucking royally incompetent. That's what I gotta say. And we're moving on.
Hi guys, it's me going. Fuck, I forgot my mustache.
Breaking fucking news. I guess I'll just probably slap this in at the beginning of the Katie Cruz section. I now have a 40-year-old woman who is obsessed with me, making some kind of, like, parody video and making weird, like, childish retorts and insults at me. Oh, you said my art is bad? Katie Cruz is 38 years old. I am 19. Girl, you are double my fucking age. What the fuck are you doing with your life? So anyways, just figured I would just add that in here before I get to the real sauce. You're gonna learn all about who this Katie Cruz person is in case you don't know.
Mention it on the video.
Katie Cruz. Katie Cruz, one of the only people on this list who you may have actually heard of before. Katie Cruz, or known by her real name, is a 38-year-old pedophile from her hometown of Indiana. She's very active on Pedi, specifically, but what she's more known for is her merch shop called Map Merch Shop.
Hey there, it's Maddie, your map-loving friend, and Pride Month is just around the corner. Are you ready to show your colors and celebrate love, acceptance, and equality? Well, I've got the perfect place for you, Map Merch Shop, the ultimate online store for map and map-adjacent communities. At Map Merch Shop, we've got everything you need to shine bright during Pride Month and beyond.
She's already been covered by multiple sources, but never on YouTube. Like, never. The majority of the work here belongs to Riata Arias. I don't know how it's pronounced, but she's a mother and a CSA survivor on TikTok who uses her platform to speak out against CSA and, you know, predators like this. I commend her for her work, and I owe a majority of the findings here on Katie to her and her team back in 2023. What was already established is that Katie Cruz's real name is and that she preyed on a little 7-year-old girl back in 2020, a girl by the name of Lucy. Katie knew this girl because her parents were her friends in high school, and she claimed to have come out, quote-unquote, about being a pedophile to her parents before Lucy was born. Lucy's parents separated the two from each other in 2021 because I guess they didn't like how, you know, obviously fucking creepy Katie was being on their, you know, daughter. Katie has since written obsessively and creepily about this little girl on her blogs, the details of which were never fully covered, which I don't think was due to anybody being incompetent. I think it was just more so because of the short video format of TikTok. So don't take that as a shot. Like, they didn't fucking research this. No, they just, it's short video. It's a different format. It's a different platform. What happened after is Lucy's parents were contacted and informed about Katie's behavior. And Katie, because of, you know, being published in this way, then doxed Riata Aries in response for being exposed. And then attempted to sue her for defamation, raising $545, which sounds like a lot, but it was of the required $25,000 to bring the case. This community has given me so much, and I hate to ask for more. As you may know, I was targeted by an anti by the name of, that's full name, who is spreading false information about me. Either blank or her cronies are still harassing me and my family. This isn't going to stop unless we make it stop. I plan to take her and her cronies to court to sue for defamation, harassment, and whatever else applies. So, what defamation? I've dealt with people like this before who will just try and throw around slap suits and whatnot at people, or even threaten hitting them with a slap suit in the hopes that they just go, you know what, I don't really, you know, this doesn't really have an impact on me. I'm just going to take this down. I don't want to risk this. But like, you have no grounds to bring this. You know, in order for something to be defamation, it actually has to not be true. Anyways. This is where it gets into my own findings. My own findings of the topic is that Katie's conduct was like wholly underreported. Like I said, mainly because of the short video format of TikTok, so it's not to the fault of the people that were covering it. If you actually look into it, her behavior rises to the criminal degree of stalking. Stalking this little, you know, like what now, 9-year-old girl? How old is she now? 12? 12.
Like, here's some AI-generated child she made of her and Lucy, and I know it's of her and Lucy because she uses the same words as she did in a post describing a fantasy that she had about Lucy, and it describes the same scenario. Disgusting. We need regulation on this shit, man. Anyways, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
She would write things on her blog like, "It's not fair. I saw new pics of her today. She's growing up without me. She's got boobs now. Looks like her mom. So fucking beautiful. And I just don't understand why I can't be in their lives. Why I can't be in her life. It's not fair. I'm so lost." Okay, and this next one is particularly psychotic. This is a fantasy that she talks about having with this little 12-year-old girl.
This is what was playing out in my head last night. I'm spending the day at Lucy's house with her and her parents. An alert sounds on all of our phones that a ballistic missile is inbound. I hold Lucy. I'm sure she already knew the answer, but she asks if we're going to die. I don't sugarcoat it. Most likely. I said as tears started running down all of our cheeks. Lucille, I love you so much. You're my best friend and soulmate. You're the girl I've always dreamed of spending the rest of my life with. I just didn't realize it was going to be this short. Will you marry me?
really dramatic thing to be turning the page on.
Her eyes widen, and she starts sobbing and wrapping her arms around me. Yes, Katie, I'll marry you. I pouted my lips and she planted a passionate kiss on me. I looked at her parents, and with only a few minutes until midnight, they didn't seem to mind. Lucy's mom was even smiling a bit. Lucy and I held each other tight as we awaited our certain fate. At the stroke of midnight, in a flash with the radiance of 1,000 suns, we ended our journey on this earth together.
Disgusting. Times a million disgusting. Oh yeah, here's another thing from my own personal findings about Katie. I wrote an anonymous question to Katie's straw page asking about a relationship with her mom, to which she replied, "My mother was one of the first people I came out to. I can't say that she approves of me being a map, but she loves me regardless of my orientation. She understands and believes that I'd never hurt a child. However, it has been a point of contention at times. Mostly she's afraid I'm going to get in trouble or be victim of a hate crime. She doesn't like that I'm an activist." Because I guess she doesn't understand that law-abiding maps are the norm and not the exception. She acknowledges how this part is creepy as all hell. She acknowledges how the various little girls in my life are adorable and understands why I'm attracted to them. Occasionally, my orientation has been something we joke about. My mother and I disagree about my orientation in politics, but despite that, I think we have a pretty close relationship. I'm texting with her every day, sending each other memes, and talk about the happenings in our lives. I go over to her house every few weeks for dinner. I think this is about the best one could hope for in a parental relationship. I am particularly disturbed, like I said, by the, she acknowledges the various little girls in my life are adorable and understands why I'm attracted to them. Like, I don't think, as like a parent in this situation that's already like an incredibly tough situation to be in, I don't think you should be like, look, I see you, you know, that little fucking 7-year-old, you know, I'll let you cook on that one.
I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Oh yeah, Katie's mother is, this is again something that I don't think people really got into. Katie's mother is like completely financially supportive of her entirely. She owns the house that Katie lives in, completely pays for it, pays the mortgage and everything. Something that Katie returns the favor with by displaying fucking pedo pride flags out the window. Yes, actually. This is just on Google Maps. Katie's even suggested, again, this is just how she repays the favor to her mother. Katie has suggested that her relationship with her mother was the reason that she preyed on Lucy. She said, "I noticed the result of my relationship with my mother and the one I had with Lucy are similar. Both Lucy and my mother evoked the same emotion in me. My relationship with my mother has definitely shaped my relationship with significant others in my adult life." So, here's a little interesting thing though.
You dumb motherfucker. I literally skipped over one of the most important parts of the fucking script. Like, in between this and the next point, there is supposed to be, I'm supposed to, you know, I guess I'll just fix it right now. Dumb motherfucker.
I'm gonna intentionally forget to say lines in the script. I'm evil.
Hey guys, it's me, Godfishing. I definitely did forget to fucking mention this in the video, but Katie Cruz is also a part of a fucking chat room for pedophilia called of Alice, and she's like a senior member on there. She's been there for like, what, 15 years? Pretty fucking crazy. I'm now going to transition back to the other part of the video, and like nothing ever happens.
Here's a little interesting thing though. Katie, because of her just outward, you know, map merch shop thing, I mean, she's pretty just out there with it. She has been targeted by multiple far-right organizations and actors to make like right-wing propaganda out of. Redux, a TERF publication, wrote a piece about Katie last year using the story by Riata Aries to push an anti-trans message. Some TERF on Instagram then picked the piece up by Redux, posted it on her Instagram, and then garnered like 8.2 thousand likes off of it, writing,
Trans-identified male, Katie Cruz, a self-proclaimed MAP, says that their age of attraction is between 9 and 13 years old. And naturally, these types advocate for trans kids because putting kids on puberty blockers and hormones contributes to them being in a state of prepubescence longer. This is what we've been afraid of for years. This is happening. These people feed on the entropy that is being created through this conflict. It's not a conspiracy theory or right-wing rhetoric.
Trans-identified male.
The lines have been drawn.
Which side are you on?
Gays Against Groomers, known far-right publication, then used the story captioning this post by the TERF perf on Instagram and posting it multiple times on their fucking Twitter page with an anti-queer, agenda and slant. And I would just like to riff on this. I think one has to be careful when you cover issues like this, to really stake your positions and not let it get fed to the far right, because I think pedophilia is bad, but there are people that will just spin that and be like, he thinks pedophilia is bad and he thinks trans people are bad and are fucking evil and trans people are this and that or whatever.
It also isn't helped by the fact that Katie's advocacy isn't just for pedophilia, it's also for trans rights. Not only that, but she actually has the audacity to put pro-trans stuff on her pedophilia merch store. It's shit like this that just sets the fucking trans community back even more. And if she was smart, she would recognize that, but I don't think she's very smart. You could just kind of tell by the shit that someone creates that they're kind of a dumb motherfucker, that they're not very intelligent. Like using AI to generate, if you come for the queen pin, you better not miss.
She has to AI generate bullshit because this is what her art actually looks like when she draws it herself. This looks fucking terrible. All this art looks fucking terrible.
Not to mention, what is this? And also this, and this, and this. What does any of this actually even mean, dude?
Going into Katie's store and whatnot, you're gonna see a lot of imagery that's just kind of weird or vague. And it was that in combination with the fact that, people on the far right were picking this story up and using it to make, right-wing propaganda, that I just kind of wondered to myself, is this just kind of crazy bullshit? Is this all just crazy bullshit?
So there's this tweet I saw the other day.
4 months ago.
They made me think a lot about the stuff I've been talking about. It was a tweet that essentially read you guys are fucking stupid. Do you really think that pedophiles are using symbols like this? Ha 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 ha, what an idiot. It was a pretty cynical take that kind of brought me back to reality in terms of what the average person understands about this, new pedophilia movement. 60,000 likes with hundreds of people pouring in, making fun of anyone who dared to take these symbols seriously. People calling the OP transphobic, homophobic, claiming they were spreading fascist propaganda and QAnon Pizzagate-style conspiracy theories. Now, in a way, I do understand the cynicism, but that does kind of go too far when you're actively spreading misinformation. Yes, misinformation, as this tweet with 60,000 likes is sadly mistaken. The only symbols I couldn't confirm here were the emojis, but aside from that, every other one here has been identified and used by pedophiles on Pedi. Even this one, meow, which I've seen many people doubt the authenticity of, so to speak. This symbol was created by a pedophile known online as Lecter, who is also the owner of and it's been used as a symbol of pedophilia online for about 5 years now. Not only that, but a fair amount of these other symbols were actually recognized by the FBI, per a leaked document in WikiLeaks. And as for the people that are claiming this links back to an anti-LGBT subreddit, that also isn't true. It was actually created by a leftist queer group that targets pedophiles. They go by the Paraphiles, also known as the Pred Sharks Telegram channel. Again, I really do understand being cynical about this, but the truth remains nonetheless. Yes, it may even be true that many of these symbols were adapted or sourced from other places, but that doesn't discount that pedophiles are actively using them. Saying all that though, I will admit it does just kind of sound crazy. It really does sound like crazy bullshit. And admittedly, trying to describe this to someone out of the loop does just kind of make it sound like QAnon.
Oh yeah, dude, there's a secret group of thousands of pedophiles online, and they have children just lining up to be preyed on by them, and it's nobody's doing anything about it, and nobody talks about it. Everybody that does talk about it, they get silenced, but it's freaking...
I don't know, man, it just made me think, maybe the commenters were right. Maybe this is just a lot of crazy fucking bullshit. Because, I mean, really, if we assume that the pediverse and everything I've laid out here is correct, then, what's next, you know what I mean? Well, let me guess, QAnon was, magically right all along or something, and not only was QAnon right all along, but, let me guess, it magically somehow ties into everything I've been talking about perfectly, and, can you imagine just, I don't know, can you just imagine how, f***ing crazy that would be? Can you just imagine how f***ing crazy that would be?
Due to Poe's law, I am unable to...
Out of all the patrons of this video, there was one whose words rung in my head like an alarm clock. Fwucky, the penultimate page of his Zine, reading that the Pacific Northwest will become the seat of the pedophile New World Order. This didn't sit right with me, and it was digging in further that I noticed something insidious. On the back of the Zine, every letter of the alphabet is used, except for 3, J, Q, and X. If you add up all the numbers he drew, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, and 1, you get 10.
J is the 10th letter of the alphabet, so you could cross J off, leaving you with Q and X. Well, it just so happens that fwucky's signature is also at the bottom. And do you know how old fwucky is? Yeah, that's right, exactly 24. So we can cross off the 24th letter of the alphabet, being X. This leaves you with just one letter, Q. This revelation sent me into shock. Had Donald Trump himself ordained me with this task? It must be so, and for that I kept digging. Holy fucking shit, man. I then discovered their roots in Satanism by rearranging AdorkableMousie's cryptic perfectly into the Freemason compass. Cruz, being a senior member of the obviously pointing me towards my own Lake Alice in Fall City, Washington. That thing that VenomWave said, the sharpest map. Well, what if we interpret that literally? Leading me to the map of Lake Alice.
Holy fucking shit.
Their Illuminati connections run deeper. The infamous pedo I interviewed earlier, for example. If you run his name through English gematria, cross that with Hebrew gematria, you're left with the key, Illuminati King. It was clear at this point I was dealing with some kind of cult. Sssus, the legendary baby-snuffing child, made a fanfic of a brutal murder from 1977 called the Oklahoma Girl Scout Murders. Upon further research, this killing was a ritualistic act done by a skinwalker. Sssus praising this killing is enough to suggest that he too must be a part of this cult. Uwuaboo happened to give away the name of this cult by calling it the We can also infer it's a vampiric cult, because Uwuaboo herself is a vampire. PochiRaccoon, when in jail, he sued the warden for not allowing him to stuff animals while needed to do so for his religious beliefs. This obviously suggests some kind of sadistic sex ritual involving stuff. Greater insight into the wider practices of the actions of various members who encourage child sacrifice.
Oh my god. I think Q was right.
Holy shit, the answer here is so obvious. We're dealing with a satanic cult that kills and children and drinks their blood. It's... You hear that? Sounds like it's coming from out there. Is that some kind of song or something? This is freaking me out, man. I gotta know. I gotta find out the truth. I've been trekking through the fucking woods for hours, bro. I hear the sound. I think it's coming from over there. It's coming from over there. I gotta look at my fucking wrist game, by the way. Holy fucking, the sound it's coming from over there. I gotta, on my journalistic integrity, I gotta get to the bottom of this. Oh shit. You see that? That's the old creepy bridge under there. I think it's coming from that way. Oh no. Before I proceeded, I just wanted to make sure I got my MAGA hat. You know, this is my fucking totem that I'm taking. Donald Trump, please spare me from these evils, okay? The storm is coming. Where we go one, we go fucking all. Oh shit. I'm here. The sounds, it's like they stopped. What the freak is this? What kind of satanic imagery is this? Oh no, I got a bad feeling about this, dude. Oh no, I hear the cultists. I think they're coming. Wait, what is this though? It's some kind of newspaper device. Yes, some kind of newspaper. There has a pentagram drawn on it. What does it say there? It says, "We used to simply disagree, now we don't agree on..."
Hey there, it's Maddie, your map-loving friend, and Pride Month is just around the corner. Are you ready to show your colors and celebrate love, acceptance, and equality? Oh shit!
It appears I was chased out of the area by some kind of fanatical cultist. He's still yelling at me. Well, you know, I think we learned a valuable lesson today. Pedophilia has fucking hands. They sent that guy on me, okay? They sent their agents for me. The pediverse sent their agents at me. I escaped out of there barely with my fucking life, okay? But luckily, I retrieved this artifact. I retrieved the newspaper from the den
of the fucking satanic pedophiles.
Oh shit! Wait, the newspaper. I think it's doing something. It's summoning. Oh no! It's summoning.
Hillary. Rodham. Clinton.
Fishing experience. The hottest rocking fishing show. Kill the intruder.
Look at this, I even made like these little paintings over here. Like, I really went the fucking distance. You know? The 10 new people that I'm gonna get with this video that, you know, that don't already have an opinion on me are gonna be like, wow, this guy really does a lot. I should subscribe to his channel. And then some f***'s gonna come along in the comment section and be like, actually, gone fishing literally kills people.